Okay, here we go on another Thursday. Welcome to Small Talk. Joined always by Chris and Badfish. Guys, we got a good one coming. We got a good one. We want to jump right into this, but first we just want to plug a couple of things that are coming on the network here. Of course, we have our 3,000 subscriber giveaway coming up. Just a reminder, if you want to enter this, you need to subscribe to Collector's Own Cantina's Facebook group, subscribe to the Collecting Weekly YouTube page, and join the Collecting Weekly Auxiliary Facebook page. If you want a bonus entry, you can subscribe to 16 Fix. That's Marco's channel, and the Ben Thomas Show on YouTube. And as always, tonight we will be giving a bonus code. We'll be giving a bonus code, so we'll get that towards the end of the show. Guys, we have one other giveaway. OFAC is going to be giving away a Carnage SH Figure Arts Venom. So we got 2 Venoms up for grabs. Make sure you go check out OFAC. I don't believe they have the rules out for how to enter yet, but it is coming for their 100th episode, and we're on our way to 100 episodes too. So make sure you keep watching us. We got some new stuff that's coming up with a new Instagram that we're working on, where we're going to be showing figures and posts, and of course updating the latest Small Talk news. But now we are going to jump straight into vintage talk, because we have a very, very special guest today. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him now. Today, our guest is Count Hastis of Acquired Taste Industries. He is a resin figure artist and space pirate from the New Hampshire system. He has released 6 carded editions and 1 uncarded variant. He has 2 DKE toy exclusives at New York and San Diego Comic Cons. He has been nominated for a Designer Toy Award and has been in 2 in-action shows at the Clutter Gallery in New York. Ladies and the gentlemen, please welcome Count Hastis himself. Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing great. So before we get into our interview questions, I wanted to go through some rapid fire questions that we'd like to get to know you a little bit better. So first one, what is your favorite figure that you have right now?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I just got a... have you guys seen the Judge Dredd figures from Hiya Toys? Mm-hmm. I just got one of their... it's funny, my favorite figure, but the... one of the alligator warriors, like the giant, it's a 4-inch scale, but they're like 5.5 inches tall.
Nice.
I wish I could. I'm looking at him from across the room, but of course I don't have him here.
I love their Ed 209 from. I don't know if it was last year or what. That thing's really fun.
Yeah, I got one of those too. It's beautiful. Like, I shouldn't say way better than the Super 7 one. Like,
our next one. What is your what figure did you wish you had? Could be from your childhood or something new, whatever you want. Like, what's a figure that you wish you still had or about to have?
I had all the Dukes of Hazzard stuff when I was a kid, and my mom gave it away. Legit. Yeah. She held on to my Star Wars, so that's good, but she gave away all my Dukes of Hazzard and other stuff, so that's a bummer. I've rebought some of it. It's much more expensive now.
My father-in-law, he's a car junkie, and he has a replica of Smokey and the Bandit's Trans Am.
Nice.
It's beautiful. It's won national awards. It's won local awards. He lives out in Bridge City, Texas, a small city outside of Beaumont, about 30 minutes closer to Louisiana than it is Beaumont and Houston. What's a movie you've seen lately?
Honestly, lately I've been watching a lot of stand-up specials. I haven't seen a lot of movies, but like Sam Morril, I'm really into, and I got to see him live recently too. And the worst heckler in the audience was sitting directly beside me. It was a coincidence, but like I know that they film the heckler sometimes, so I was like leaning way away from him to try not to be in the video, and he ended up posting it on. He managed to turn it around and make the guy, look like a jackass and get everybody laughing. But I was glad I didn't make the video though. But it was sort of nightmarish though when this guy started screaming stupid stuff. I was like, "This is it. This is the guy that's going to end up on YouTube."
Is it like was it like in a theater or something? Did he do it like in a theater? Or was it like a bar, like a dive?
It was like the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom's sort of a medium-sized venue. Some like I've seen Steel Panther there with my wife a bunch of times. And
sure.
So it's they got pictures of Led Zeppelin on the wall. A lot of people have played there over the years. So
nice. Chris, Badfish, are you into any crazy comedians or anything like that?
I mean, all the ones that have been canceled and are no longer fit for public consumption.
I went through a big spat of watching comedy specials too for a period, and last comedian I saw live I think was Bill Burr.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is good.
So I mean that's a pretty good one, but that was years ago, and my wife, she was my fiance at the time technically, but she got us tickets to it for my birthday, and then that was fun. We've considered.
And you didn't cause any arguments on the way home from the show?
No,
I'd be kind of afraid to see him with my wife.
Not that time. No,
We
we both used to listen to his podcast together.
Oh, right on.
My wife. The latest comedian we've seen is a lady named Heather McMahon. My wife loves her, follows her on Instagram, all this kind of stuff. She has a really cool backstory and stuff like that. And we went and saw her, and she's crazy funny. She's real like eccentric and will dress up like an old man and do like all these all this crazy stuff. Opens up with like a skit show of like almost, it was like Home Alone where. She's getting ready to go somewhere. I can't remember if it was like a wedding or like another show or something like that, right? And she ends up leaving like her assistant or something like that, and the assistant's just chilling in her house, sitting at the pool, kind of stuff like that.
That's awesome.
We're real into watching the Netflix comedians. When we've had a hard day, we just turn one of those on and have a good time.
Yeah.
The next one, and probably my most favorite question: what are you drinking right now?
It's the Sam Adams Wicked Double IPA.
So good.
Yeah,
so
I love
good.
it. It's one of the few things I'll pour into a glass, because most of the time I'm like, it's in a container. It's not worth dirtying a glass. But this turns me into a beer snob. I like the aroma, all that jazz. So
present.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this time of year for beer because I'm a huge Oktoberfest fan. My birthday's in October, but the history for an Oktoberfest goes way back to March, right? The Marzens and things like that. So it's right about this time where I'll start buying like a 12-pack here and a 6-pack here of all kinds of different kinds of beers. But right now I got some stuff lined up myself because I plan on being here for a minute, but I'm drinking a Shotgun Texas Bock.
Nice.
And then I also have on deck is a Stone Cold Broken Skull Double IPA. I've been wanting to try this for a while, but my go-to is my good old Scotch.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, Badfish, y'all drinking anything cool tonight?
Stella, I'm basic.
Stella.
It's fine.
But you drink it so right. You have the glass. It has the gold rim and everything. I've noticed.
It's a stem glass for that, right?
Not today, but usually I have the right one. Sean's right.
Yeah.
Badfish, what about you, man?
For me, it's just some caffeine, a
Good
sugar-free
old
monster.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't usually get sugar-free. I bought the wrong one, but I was like, F it, I'll try it, and it tastes fine. So.
Have y'all? I don't know if it's up there by you guys, but we have one that's local. It's spread out a little bit. So I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and it's kind of since moved into Austin, where they kind of do their production now. But there was these college guys who created Nerd Focus. Man, I do not drink energy drinks, but that one is so good. Y'all ever seen Nerd Focus at all?
I think that's probably illegal in
Oh,
Canada because, like, you know, Four Loco is illegal in Canada, for example.
Oh, is it
so
really?
like, we don't play with certain stuff like that. Yeah, it's too dangerous.
Yeah, I
It's
haven't heard
locally
that one.
brewed energy drink, though, huh?
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly.
Nice.
Real quick, speaking of Oktoberfest, we have locally near me. We have the largest Oktoberfest outside of Germany. It's
real?
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
grew up
I've
there
gotten
too.
into a lot of trouble there. That's like
I've never been, and I want to be that guy who ends up on the table sleeping at the place and waking up to a beer.
dude, it's crazy.
What brand is it? Oh, you mean the celebration itself?
Yeah.
The
Oh, okay.
celebration.
All right, I gotcha.
There's like the whole city shuts down for like 2 weekends. It's like each weekend,
Yeah.
and there's there's stuff during the week too. But it's
It's Kitchener, Ontario, formerly Berlin, Ontario. They changed the name for some reason. I wonder what the deal with
Yeah,
that
I
was.
wonder when that happened.
Yeah, and then it's every year it's crazy. There's like several halls, they call them, right, that have events every
Are they
year.
tents though?
Some of them, yeah, and some of them are inside. Some of them are like bars that get converted, and then they just some of them are literally hockey arenas that get turned into a big drinking pit, and there's like sausages being served.
Nice.
Do you have ladies in traditional dress?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
For
and
now.
you have to buy
Fantastic.
tickets. You have to buy tickets. Speaking of March, you have to buy them in March, otherwise you won't get any.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's that
Wow.
popular,
yeah,
or is
it's
it just a
crazy.
thing?
Looks like
And you
Sean
can
needs
buy
to make a trip.
resales, but it's
I might be going to OxCon Canada.
yeah, absolutely.
Last question. Count. What
Yes.
do you collect?
Really like 90% Star Wars, but like I got a couple of boss fight Flash Gordon figures in the Phantom. I really like Boss Fight Studios. I collect stuff from other resin artists. I try to support independent companies. Like, did you guys see the Cthulhu figures that have been out for a while? Like, they have the I think there's only like 4 of them, but it's like the Cult Leader and the
I think
monster
I have actually.
Yeah.
Yes. I think
those
I
are
have.
really nice. I only have one. Actually, I got 2 of them. But I kind of try to go for, Super 7's got some good stuff, but I like to go for companies that are a little smaller than that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Real quick though, before we deep dive into your career and all your accolades and all that good stuff, we do want to check in with our chat, starting with Toy Mafia coming in at first, always every Thursday. Thank you, Toy Mafia, for being here even before the show starts.
Nice.
Is it Aries? We also got the Everyday Collector, Carlito, and Vintage Rebellion. Hey, I know that guy. And then Freezy Figures. Hey, what's up, man?
Easy.
Feezy. Sorry. Thank you, Feezy. All right, Chris. So I'm going to leave this one up to you. You go out with the questions and you kind of get us started and feel free.
Yeah, well, I guess like so I've known the Count for a few years. I don't know. I missed his first release, but I think I got in on the second one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Butcher was like 2017, right? Is it later than that?
No, that's right. Yeah, that
Okay.
and Emperor Cryogenius came out the same year. Actually,
Okay.
that and the 3 of them came out the same year.
All right, that's yeah. So like, and I mean, and if you move that first slide here, we can see some of the acquired taste. Oh, one more back. Yeah. So
There
this
we
is
go.
this is some of the acquired taste stuff. I know I'm almost complete on the Count's figures here. I'm just missing the Ugnaught Oompa Loompa. So you see this, you got Oompa Loompa there. He's basically an Ugnaught. That's a good piece. But the rest of these I think I'm complete on. One being a variant. But but basically, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like when I saw these things first, like the obviously the basis in a lot of these cases is like a vintage Kenner Star Wars figure,
Right.
and then like. And I know you got a partner who does your card art for you, which is like insane. Like, like look at this first Emperor Cryogenius here. Like, we all know that it's a historical fact that Walt Disney's head is frozen somewhere under Disneyland. So So, there's a lot. I mean, you got the Epcot Center, Death Star Dome there. Like, there's a lot going on here. How do you?
That's so awesome. I was not under. I was like, who is this? So like that.
All right. Well,
I love it.
all right. Well, even the head, like, I don't know where you got it. Tell us a little bit about your process. Cause like, if you look at that head up close, it does look like Walt Disney.
It's
the 3D head.
There was a Christmas ornament of the statue that they have at Walt Disney World. That's the Partners, where he's holding hands with Mickey Mouse.
Right.
And so I decapitated him and changed his features a little bit to look a little more menacing. And so I molded that, and then the Epcot Center Dome was like a paperweight about the size of a baseball that I had to reduce in size with some molding tricks. They sell resins that you can add water to that once it evaporates, it shrinks. And so it's sort of a trial and error thing to get it to the right size for the R2 dome, but one of them worked. And then the idea for that, it was kind of funny. As I was getting into this, I was like, I'd like to do an R2, but there are so many good ones already. And just as sort of a stream of consciousness, I was like, I'd have to do something way better than Walt Disney's frozen head in a jar with the Epcot Center Dome with the, Death Star, cannon and cartoon hands. And then I was like, I better check and see if somebody's done that. That's not that bad. But it just sort of rolled out of me like that. So.
All right. Well, I mean, and then give a little shout out to your card back artists, because like these are just nuts. Like, look at that fat Captain Kirk Snaggletooth.
Yeah, he is amazing. I really lucked out. He's the husband of a girl I went to high school with. She and I were friends, and he was already well established. His name is Matt Talbot, and on Instagram he's Matt Robot. And he was already well established when I asked him to work with me, and he was excited to do it. He's an amazing guy, and collaborating with him, like, I can't play an instrument or sports or anything. I've never had this sensation of like synergy and working so well with somebody, and we kind of riff off each other and make the thing better together. And since we started working together, he started doing fan art posters for each episode of Better Call Saul, and the producers and writers of the show started sharing his stuff on social media, and now like the stars of the show all follow him on Instagram, and they've written him personally and stuff. He did I meant to have the record with me. He did the movie they did about Jesse, El Camino.
Yeah.
There was like a 2 LP set that Mondo Records released, and he did all the art from like soup to nuts, the labels, like the gatefold inside the front and back cover, even one of those strips that they have down the binding of the record in Japan mostly.
So that's a case of like, like if you put the work in, the fan art becoming licensed art, man, that's crazy for the same franchise he was playing around with. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it just kind of happened organically. Like he was just doing it and putting it out there, and more people picked up on it, and then before you know it, they're actually having him do the art for things related to the show.
Yeah. So another thing we wanted to do here is I asked you to sort of find some images online and sort of let's go, because like I don't think a lot of our audience is like super familiar with the sort of art figure sub genre here. So I wanted you to just take us through a little bit of the history of this sort of facet of the figure collecting hobby, if you don't mind.
Sure. The main retailer for this stuff, his name is Dove Kellemer, and his company is DKE Toys. And the way he usually explains it is that there's always been custom figures, people wanting to have the figures that weren't made available from Kenner, like Luke in his yellow jacket from the award ceremony, or Tarkin, so that's been going on almost since the first movie came out. But the first instance they can think of where it was used for social commentary is a guy, his real name is Morgan Phillips, but he goes by the Super Suck Lord. And the one that Frank Kozik took notice of and shared on his website at the time that got him some notoriety was the Gay Empire figure, which is sort of like it's sort of a facetious view of what the religious right views gay people and the gay agenda being. Like it's like the Galactic Empire, like taking over society. So he did like a pink stormtrooper and did this art that you see here on the card back. and it really kind of took off from there. So he was really the first that they can find that had sort of a, not only just, this is a character from the movie that wasn't available, but like, taking it as a pop culture symbol and doing social commentary with it.
Right. And these things have really sort of, they've arrived, like a first edition Gay Empire figure. I haven't checked in a while, but this one pictured here is the 10th anniversary one. But
right, yeah, I didn't scroll back far enough in his Instagram to find the real one. But yeah, this is like an anniversary edition.
Yeah, like original is like, I'm sure it's thousands. I don't know how many thousands anymore, but yeah. I think it's
at least a couple grand. Yeah, because of the it's like having an early Warhol or something. It's he's been doing this since I think 2007.
Right.
So like he did like a self-portrait that was like a silver Boba Fett head on a Count Dooku body that he molded. But that was really just sort of establishing his character. This Gay Empire stuff is really where it kind of took a life of its own.
Yeah, and it's got the basic sort of screen printing look too, which he's sort of maintained. But yeah, so that it really escalated from there. So tell me about what we have here.
This is another guy from New York that started doing stuff about the same time, named David Healy. His company is called Healy Made. What he's most famous for is probably the first figure stuff that he did anyway was like G.I. Joe heads on Star Wars bodies. It's just sort of a basic head swap that he would mold and cast and then paint in new colors. So I didn't give you any examples of that, unfortunately, but these I thought that these were significant because I think maybe the only figure that was out from Hasbro at this point was Kylo, and he went ahead and made the rest of the Knights of Ren as resin statuettes, basically, and they're all original sculpts by him. Nice. So if you're I know you're not, Chris, but if you're a fan of the sequel trilogy, well, this is really the only way to get them. I had assumed, like I had posted this picture a while on my Instagram that said, someday Hasbro is going to, release multiple editions of this in different scales. But for now, I don't think they're going to go back and do it at this point.
Oh yeah. Well, I think for like, so you're saying this is like Force Awakens era. So it was just that one scene in the movie was covered with rain anyway, so you couldn't see them that good. But
exactly,
I think Hasbro eventually released one of them in the vintage collection for Rise of Skywalker, and that's it.
That's it. So they didn't end up doing much with them. They end up just kind of posing like a rock band in different spots. But one of the great things about the original Kenner line was the figures that didn't get much screen time or didn't have much of a story to them loan themselves the most to fantasy and original play that didn't take place in the movie. So anyway, I just thought they were gorgeous. That's why I sent that picture. I was so impressed with it.
I think we got one more from Healy.
These are really cool.
Real quick, guys, just wanted to shout out a couple guys who just joined us. So we got Casual Nerd Problems. He wished he could be here with us today, guys. He's running some errands, some really important errands that he had to get taken care of, and he's on his way home. So watching from the drive home right now. So, and then Don Matan. What the hell did I just walk into? Don, just keep listening, man. Just keep listening.
Those are really sweet. And the size of I was gonna mention the Dark Father and stuff like that. The big cards he had, those are really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got here? These are, this is some of my favorite stuff of his. What series is this?
This is from I don't know if you guys are familiar with Glyos toys, where the arms and legs and heads are interchangeable. Sometimes it's even like, actually on one of these, it's halfway down the forearm. You can switch with other figures. Depending on the Glyos line, they're interchangeable at different points. But he's done multiple colorways for these. He has these, like most of the time, he's either kit bashing or sculpting himself. But for these, it's Stephen Geddes, right? I'm embarrassed that I can't say this off the top of my head.
Oh, that's his name, yeah.
Yeah. But
I didn't know he did these though. That's crazy.
Yeah, he also did the I didn't send you a picture of this, but the mud back that just came out. I think you've got one of those too, right?
Yeah,
The small mud back.
Yeah, just for a little bit of background for you guys, Stephen Getty's the guy who sculpted these for Healy, is a original Kenner sculptor who did figures for the original Star Wars movie Empire and Jedi, and some of the beasts as well, like the Rancor and the Dewback. We had him out to a convention in Toronto last year.
and the Dagobah play set, and he would hide his own name and the names of his children in the sculpts.
Yeah,
so that's worth looking up. Yeah,
that's sweet.
So Healy's kind of living the dream here. He'll send this guy a sketch, and then this guy will come back with this exquisite hand sculpted figure, and then it's produced by Matt Dowdy. Is the guy that invented the Glio system that a lot of different figure creators have become a part of, and it's a diverse. People do different stuff with it. Some people are like Matt Dowdy's, like the actual Glios, the O'Neill brand stuff itself, like the heads and arms and stuff are sort of sculpted so they could be parts of machines or whatever. They're a little indistinct, but then there's creators like Healy or the Knights of the Slice have their own line. So you can collect different Glios lines and combine parts from different ones. There's a real aggressive cult, and that stuff goes the resale value is impressive. You kind of have to be sitting on your computer when this stuff comes out in order to get it, or you're going to pay through the nose on eBay.
I was going to ask, I assume these are small runs.
Yeah, he'll have, they get the molds and then they do different plastic colors that loan themselves well to different color schemes. I probably should have sent more pictures. The one in the middle there with the eye patch, the one I really regret not getting, and I'm actually going to have to remold and cast it and paint it myself. He did one that was in Joker colors. It's like the Joker in an armored suit with an eye patch. And it's gorgeous. It's one of my great regrets. I probably should have said that one instead of the Dukes of Hazzard, that I didn't get that one. But thanks to the fact that I have, the skills and the access to the materials to, remold and cast it and paint it myself, I will have a Joker Raider eventually. So this one is one of my favorite pieces in the genre. It's by Junk Fed, and it's called Non-Solo. He did sell it on a card back, but the whole line is called Space Madness, from Ren and Stimpy, and there's an astronaut in a straitjacket as the logo, but the card art on each of them, except for the collect them all stuff on the back, is the same. So I didn't bother sending the carded edition because I thought it would be better to look at the figure itself. But I love this because it really speaks to me. It says more. That's the neat thing about this stuff, is that you can speak in the language of Star Wars, the same way that a lot of literature makes reference to the Bible. This is a language we're all familiar with. This is more significant than Who Shot First. To me, it's you have more in common with your enemies than you imagine. And when you engage in violence with someone, you become a part of each other. It's an experience that you carry with you. So that's one of the... I'd really love to buy this from him at some point, but he's sort of moved on to other things. Now he does he'll get a plastic dinosaur and create a diorama of smaller dinosaurs inside it. He calls it Dinorama. But I love his figures. This is the first resin bootleg figure that I ever bought. It's the Riot Scum Rebel Girl by Dane Marks. His company is Buzzard Guts. And this was 2 years before Carrie Fisher passed away. So he was it's almost like a prophetic piece to me. Let me see here. He chose to use Farmer Luke legs because they were a little thicker, and the top of the legs loan themselves to becoming a mini skirt. And the torso is Han Solo, so she's kind of flat chested with thick legs, which is kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of feminist punk rock, that is fairly typical, they don't subscribe to the expectations for women's bodies and stuff. So to me, this was really brilliant. It's the first one I bought, and it's one of the favorites in my collection.
Nice.
Is that a guitar, the blue thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I just saw it there. I see it.
Yeah, it's actually somebody recast it from a Bill and Ted toy. One of the collaborators listed on the bottom is
That's cool. That's awesome.
Hemlock Bootlegs, who has disappeared since Cast the Guitar, so we got a credit on the box.
The card work is incredible on all of these. I gotta say.
The artwork is awesome. This is probably
and the figures are too, but especially the. Yeah.
It's neat how they can like Healy doesn't really do card art, but like his are either sold in like sort of a black box that he has made in Vermont. But he's pretty much the only one that gets away with not doing the card art. Some of these depend more on card art than others. Like one of my goals as an artist is to have figures that stand on their own without it, because the carded edition is like a limited number of figures, and then afterwards, I'll sell them loose for people that want them in their collection. But anyway, so this guy,
cool.
This is probably my favorite artist in the scene. He's the art. Get out of here, Ivy! Come on, you're killing me.
Everybody, welcome Ivy to the show.
Yes, Ivy's on the show. She's a better person than most people.
One of our first pet intros right there. All good.
The one that really inspired me to do figures in the first place was what's it called here? The X-Ray R2.
Yeah.
It's one of his double cast projects where he does a different technique. A lot of people that do double casting with resin, they'll take the original figure and carve it. So they'll do like reductive sculpting. But Scott creates a sculpture and just makes sure it fits in the mold of the original thing. So he'll do a original sculpture and then cast it inside a mold of the vintage Kenner R2D2. And like the first time I saw this, I was confused by it. And at first I wasn't even sure that I liked it. But over time, the more thinking of the ways that it might make sense was almost a hallucinogenic experience. Like it was, like it inspired like all this thought. Like, is this is this an alien creature masquerading as a droid? Is this like an X-ray of like something that's biological pretending to be a robot, or like there's a lot of different possibilities to make this make sense. And
like they live or something,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, I should have put the IG handles on here. But if you guys are into this at all, check out Barbarian Rage on Instagram, because like even like his He-Man stuff is just wild. Like he'll do a Ram Man where it's like clear red resin with like a skeleton inside. Like it is some of the most metal looking stuff you can imagine. It's pretty good.
That's the aesthetic. He's way into Gwar and Slayer and like darker, more obscure stuff than that. But yeah, like he did. So like the reuse is Danzig inspired. Like the head is a double cast, sort of like the R2, and then the middle one there, the bib, was inspired by. They released Colgate with a figure in it during the 80s, and he loves it because like there's few Star Wars characters with worse teeth than Bib Fortuna, so he thought it was really weird marketing, so he wanted to kind of draw more attention to it all these years later.
I forget if that's like a Spain exclusive or something, but the Colgate Return of the Jedi pack-in figure is like there's something like 3 known or something like that are still intact. Like it's it's like I think one is a biker scout, and for Bib there's probably just one as well, and there's a couple boxes floating around, but that is a rare, or the original piece is a extremely rare collectible, so it's funny to see the sort of mint colored Bib with the picture of that along there. Probably easier to find than the real thing.
The guy that did the card art for the R2, oh geez, now I'm gonna forget. He calls himself like MOC Toys, I think, but he does card art for a lot of different artists. He's collaborated with a lot of people, and when Scott had asked him to do it, and then he was waiting for it, and when it arrived, he was just blown away, and he was surprised to see that the guy had left room for a coin. So then Scott had to sculpt the coin too, which further delayed the release. But in the end, it's worth it because it's one of the best pieces. I mean, now he's doing original sculpt stuff. He's got a comic book with original content, and he's producing toys. based on his own comic book that are really great too. So he's gone from a guy that I think the first things he sold were like casts that were based on like the Star Wars Play-Doh molds, and he's like evolved exponentially, and now he's an incredible sculptor too. So
do you recall what comic book that is that he's working on right now?
Yep, I think it's called Barbarian Rage actually.
Barbarian Rage.
It's like it's the adventures of a barbarian that suspiciously resembles Scott and a bald-headed wizard that I think has 3 eyes.
Is it like more of a local read or like a local print from his area, or is it like did he have a company pick him up?
He self-published the first issue, and then he got picked up by Nacelle that does the Toys That Made Us on.
Okay.
And then like they published the first 2 issues, and then he decided to go back to doing his own thing, and so he re-released the first 2 issues, and I think the third one. And there's a place where they can print on metal, like actual metal. So like he's released comic books that have actual like steel covers with his artwork on them, sort of like
That's cool.
Yeah,
you know,
he's really quite a guy.
There's comic companies who will take the illusion that it's steel or that it's metal or silver or whatever, you know, to actually put that in there is awesome. Yep. You had said earlier that you really strive to make sure the figure stands on its own besides what's on the art box.
Right.
So
which is funny because my artist is so awesome, but I
mean,
but I don't want to be overshadowed by him. As much as I love him, I don't want him getting too much credit for our success. So
I consider myself a casual Star Wars fan. You know, I've watched the movies. I was into it as a kid. I always say I was that kid who's drawing TIE fighters and X-Wings and fighting each other outside the Death Star and stuff like that. But this Rage Wars R2 right there, man, that is legit.
Yeah,
I
love it.
But so with all that said, so are you more of an out of box collector? Are you more of an in-box? You do like a mix? Like what's your
when I buy stuff from an artist like these guys that we've been talking about, it really depends on the piece, whether I want it loose or whether I want it on the card, because a lot of times it depends on the card for the for the joke to work or for the concept to work.
Sure.
But yeah, like you said, like my goal is
more of a story than the actual figure could, right?
Right, exactly. Like the Sucklord kind of makes a point of his stuff being a little bit sloppy, but because of his like you said, like the 2-color kind of screen printed looking art and stuff, and the stuff that the card says, it really comes together. Well, he's kind of doing a riff on actual bootleg figures too, like from foreign countries and stuff. So like part of his aesthetic is to not be too much of a perfectionist. He wants seam lines. Like sometimes like the stuff breaks off, like legs break off in the box. And he's like, you know what? That's just part of it.
It's part of the experience.
Right, that's exactly right.
Hashtag Hasbro. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is another one of my favorite artists, Seth Relentless. His company is Relentless Assault. The first 2 there, Darth Danzigius, I think it is, and is it the HR2D2 or something? The first one is like Danzig is a Sith Lord, which is a great idea, and the other one is like HR from Bad Brains. That's the dreadlocked R2 there.
That's legit.
Yeah, really awesome. He's a hell of a nice guy, and like he does his own. Like Scott does a lot of his own card art as well, but like Seth, I think Seth always does his own card art, and he's done it for other artists too. Like I didn't send you any Dollar Slice bootleg stuff, but like he's done stuff for Dollar Slice. And that last one, the what is it? The Not That Cool Robots of the Apocalypse or something like.
Yeah, the less cool characters.
Yeah, less cool characters. Yeah. So I wanted to send you at least one thing that was non-Star Wars related, but it's sort of his riff on like the.
This is after the robots took over, and
right.
they wiped out all the humans. Some of the less cool robots have to take fast food jobs.
That's right. That's right. So he has like one of his hands is like a condiment dispenser, and
Oh, I
That
just
stuff is
noticed
really
that. I
funny.
saw it from the corner of my eye. And I was
One's
like,
the
what is that?
flipper, yeah, the spatula.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a spatula hand, and then he's got one that shoots like mayo, ketchup, and mustard. So
Real quick as
Yeah.
well, I noticed the ages 40 and up for
yeah,
the versus the 21 and up for the other ones.
yep,
I guess the older collector, but honestly, each of these have like little clever details. These look like renders almost, like they look so good as well. They look like so perfect.
yeah.
Well, I
His
mean,
stuff is
okay,
really just. I'm kind of envious. I do want to do stuff where I've painted the card art myself to sort of, I feel a little bit inferior to these guys that do it all. So it's. I do want to do some of my own card art at some point, but like Seth is like one of the sickest out there. Like he's one of the best. So
yeah, I mean that image on the R2, like look at the movement of the hair.
mhm.
That's fine. That is a fine art piece there. That's the other thing I wonder about these guys. Like depending on the medium, I'm sure a lot of it's digital, but like I'm sure they do all right if they move the original art if there is a non-digital original
Right.
art too.
A lot of time, Dove from DKE Toys will offer to buy it, and if we say no, like a year later, he'll make a better offer. He enjoys collecting the original art from these
Nice.
kind of releases.
Oh yeah, actually I've seen his collection. Like when they do podcasts once in a while, he's got a room in the basement where you can see some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. This is
I
one of my favorite
absolutely
pieces
love
ever.
this.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not many of these things are 1-to-1 scale. I guess this would be one of the few examples. The Nookie Wookie from Dead Greedy, my friend Jeremy. There's a ton of jokes. I probably should have sent you
Girl Fett.
Girl Fett instead of Gillette.
Oh, I can. Do you know what the Arabesh says?
Oh, I should, but I'm going to have the excuse that I'm not wearing my reading glasses right now.
It says
I'm just
vibro
curious.
blades at the top, which as everyone knows, vibro blades are what they call regular swords in Star Wars in the Old Republic, at least.
Yeah. And the whole back is like jokes like, are you as shaggy as the Force of Endor? Like it's all Star Wars references.
Is this fully functional?
I don't
Most likely.
I have one of these, and I think it's just a resin cast of the. I wish he would release one that had real razors in it. One of these guys released one that had a live 22 round in it, so it wouldn't be unprecedented. So.
Oh, God.
Wow. All right, yeah. So I just want to come back to this stuff a little bit. I noticed your Instagram had a little spark in activity lately, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity, and I'd like to know myself sort of what's going on with your projects lately.
I've slowed down for a few years because we've had some. I don't want to bring the show down, but some unpleasantness with family deaths and being thrown out of our last apartment by an unappreciative landlord. So over the last few years, I've slowed way down, and I've I have a lot of partially done projects, but just due to circumstances, I haven't been able to release anything on a card for a long time. So I've sort of been cranking out the hits, as they say, just sort of trying to improve on like Emperor Cry Genius, for example, like when I released it in New York through DKE, the Disney head was a lot more basic, the paint job and everything. It was sort of a green blue. And since then, I've gotten better at painting detail, and I powder the molds with an iridescent blue and green and silver powder. So he looks more frozen.
Important detail, yeah. I mean, because his head is literally frozen out there. People, you gotta find it's a true fact.
And the funny thing is, as I get better at painting his head, I like to infuse a clear white glitter in the jar itself, so you can't see it. I like to do a great job on it, and then have it be sort of mysterious in there where the viewer can't. People seem to prefer the jar to be clear, but I kind of like to have it look frozen and really force you to look at it to see his face and the details. But
yeah, his head's probably stuck in a geocache somewhere. So if y'all find it, let us know. We'll go with you. We had a few other people jump in the chat. So we got CM Chunk coming in with us, and then we also had Just Another Friday Nights. Make sure you go check them out tomorrow. We'll shout them out one more time towards the end. They also said, you survived the robotic apocalypse just to flip burgers. It's a grim future, guys. It is very grim.
Yep.
Maybe we could all work together then. We could show them how it works. We also got Mark Pearson joining us as well. So thank you guys for dropping in today. We always like to make sure that on Small Talk we go over what we got new this week. So we'll go one by one as our photos pop up. And if you have any comments or whatever you might want to comment on, just let us know. So the first thing I got was the new Rita and Minotaur deluxe packs. And it sucks, but it's also really cool because, you know, they say that Lightning Collection taking a hiatus, and I just read another post a couple of days ago that they're not really taking a hiatus. They're focusing on their kids lines, which is fair. You know, I mean, I think that's where Power Rangers are rooted. I kind of debated putting their new Zord up on here just to kind of discuss it and stuff, but I had to. I think I took a step back and just said, you know what, let them do their kids stuff if that's what they're really doing. And we could talk about that kind of stuff later, because some of those toys that are coming out lately are for the kids, and us as collectors, we pick them up as well.
Are there any figures that you wish they really did before they took this hiatus?
You know, it's been years since I've really gotten into a Power Ranger series, but just I would say last year I got into the Dino Fury series, because that's just what was on YouTube. So I really wish they would finish that series because I really enjoyed it. We're missing a couple of figures from there, and then of course they got their new Cosmic Furies, which I'm really excited for, just because I'm a cosmic guy anyway by heart. You know, a lot of the comics I have up here are all from the cosmic side of Marvel, so for them to be taking a hiatus and possibly not making those figures, I'm kind of disappointed. So I don't want it to go in 2-3 seasons and then we barely see one figure come out of it. So, but definitely needed a better Rita. What's really cool about this Rita that I feel like maybe they should have started doing a long time ago is she has faceplates. So I don't know if
So interchangeable expressions.
Yeah. So I can't really see them. There you go. You see one of them right there. So
Nice.
so it just kind of pulls out, like you grab her chin, right, and it kind of pops off, and you can put the other faceplates.
She looks awesome.
Yeah, she looks great, and they added the lightning effect to it too. So I was really excited about that. And then the Mighty Minotaur, man, he was one of those classic monsters that I'd never even thought about thinking that I wanted until they released him. So definitely fun to add to the monster side of my Power Rangers.
What scale is that?
It's a 1/12.
Okay,
It's
right on.
they're from Hasbro, so
Yep.
about 6 inches or so.
Those are beautiful sculpts.
Oh yeah, those look great, which is good because some of the stuff that's been coming out lately has not been. But I picked up from a friend, local friend here in San Antonio, off of our group, one of our local groups, the Spider Woman, Monster Spider Woman is what I like to call her. But a lot of people did not like this figure. They said it was very poorly done. I would agree that the head's a little small, maybe, but I think one of the bigger complaints was that the paint was not fully on. So if you look really, really close on this, you can see on the boots, like there's some silver there, and then you kind of see the silver on the chest where the lining of the webs and stuff. It does not follow all the way through towards the back. So you have several mispainted opportunities right back there.
You're saying you're telling me that's Spider Woman?
This is Spider Woman from the Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh,
Okay.
And
I'll
I'm
take your
not
word
sure
for it.
she actually made an appearance in this one, but I'm hoping she makes an appearance in the next one, because I think it is a 2-parter or 3-parter. But I absolutely love this figure. I disagree very much with what some people were saying, that it's not a good figure. Yeah, the little spikes on the shoulder kind of bent over. You can whatever, right? But I really, really like this figure. And then the next one, I'm a big Jackass fan, and I wanted to get this figure of Johnny Knoxville in his wrestling attire. I have a meme that I want to make out of this and Deadpool and stuff, and I'm gonna hopefully work on that in the next few weeks. But comes with a couple of hands. The Spider Woman did not come with that blast effect that you see there. That's actually from an Iron Man, and the peg is just too small, or the hole in the gun is just too big. So I got a piece of paper, rolled it up on that peg, and just stuffed that in there. But I believe that is everything for me. Chris, what do we got here, man?
Ooh.
All right. Well, so what you got here is a couple autographed modern figures. Like I mentioned a couple times on the show, myself and a few friends who did more work than me put on a little convention in the Toronto area, and it was, to my knowledge, the first ever reunion of the guys who worked on the holiday special cartoon and the Droids and Ewoks cartoons, which is a company in Toronto called Nelvana. And we also had Jim Swearingen there, who, if you've ever seen the Toys That Made Us Star Wars episode, you'd know he's like the principal conceptual designer for the early Star Wars toys. And we also had Roger Christian there, so like set decorator on the original Star Wars. You know, it was a crazy time for Star Wars nerds like me, like, you know, just living our best life. You know, talent and autographs that a lot of people wouldn't care about unless you're deep into this stuff. But for us, it's like, these guys are legendary, right? So this first droid C-3PO is signed by Brian LeMay, who was a layout artist on the Droids cartoon and the Ewoks cartoon. And I was also able to buy a little bit of original art from him, which is I'm pretty excited about. That was used in the production. And then the prototype Fett here is signed by Jim Swearingen, who made the original mock-up Boba Fett figure, the first Boba Fett figure ever. So it's really cool to get him to sign that.
I got a question just in general terms. Did like all these animation guys that hadn't seen each other for a while, did they seem happy to see each other after all these years? Or
dude, you wouldn't like, man, it was so amazing to be a fly on a wall, because three of them were invited as guests, and like 3 other guys from Nelvana showed up just to be like,
oh, that's
this
awesome.
is amazing. And they, you know, oh man, like there was half an hour where they were all around a circle dinner table, and I was the only outsider there, and it was just like, this is amazing. This is why we put the work in for this stuff. Like, these guys hadn't seen each other in 30 years, and I was asking them stuff about the Star Wars holiday special. It was just, you know, just living my best life. You know, they're like, oh, that thing we worked on for like 3 weeks that we don't want to talk about. Yeah.
Well, they worked on the best part of it, so they've got that going for them.
Oh, they knew that. Yeah, and then you know, and I'm still clinging to the last gasps of life in this 3.75-inch Halo line, which I love. This wave's been out for a while, but I haven't seen these handful of figures. It's a Halo 1 Marine Buck, famously played by Nathan Fillion in the game from Halo 5, and Skirmisher. And you know, I haven't really looked into Jazzware's site to see what's going on with this line, but you know, they haven't done a vehicle in like 2 years, so, and I don't know of a wave past Series 6, so it's probably not looking good. But of course, they did have that SDCC exclusive, which was the repainted Warthog that Eddie Mendez got for me, which I showed that last episode, so it's still got some life in it, but I wonder, I'm a little worried that we're not going to get any more vehicles or anything like that. And, you know, there was also a little bit of a step back where on this wave, they stopped packing stands in with every figure. The Skirmisher has one there, probably because they realized it could barely stand by itself, but they started getting rid of the stands with the basic human figures.
Did you open that exclusive?
Which one? Oh, the exclusive. I did not open the exclusive Warthog yet. All right.
Don't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
Well, I didn't put a picture of it in here, but like, let's just put it this way: this exclusive Warthog, its cardboard box allows you to change the batteries for the black light. There's an on and off switch for the black light in this Warthog exclusive box, and you can change the battery out. What a time to be alive. That's how you do an exclusive. And here, my last pickup that I wanted to share is I've had this Gentle Giant holiday special Boba Fett statue for a while, and it's special because I don't know if you can bring my camera up for a second here, but this is one of the few collectibles that actually says the holiday special on it, because that's basically illegal. You can't, as far as Disney and Lucasfilm are concerned, you basically can't write that on anything. If you look at the first Boba Fett figure from the holiday special, it just had it just said animated debut. It didn't say holiday special. They weren't even allowed to say it back then.
I assume this is pre-Disney, this Gentle Giant statue?
Yeah, this statue's 2013, so it was really weird that it had that logo on there. But
cool.
so I got the base of it signed by John Celestri here, who is a freaking character, if you can't tell. The mustache wax and everything. But like he worked at Nelvana like in the late 70s, early 80s, and he did a lot of work for that holiday special cartoon, and we brought some prints from that and stuff. And he did the initial sketches of what Fett was going to look like in the cartoon, and he was pleased to see that Gentle Giant accurately gave him only 3 fingers, in his words, because he's an alien.
I was just about to I had noticed that when you were when I was commenting how cool this looked, basically. But
yeah. So the best, like, I just had a blast this weekend. Like, you can't even put it into words, the stuff we luckily we did record a panel with the 3 Nelvana guys, and I will make sure to share that in auxiliary when I have it available. I just got to redo some editing for that. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Badfish, go ahead.
All right, yeah. If Just Another Friday Night guys are still in here, they were talking about this on Friday. Showed me that the all 5 issues were available in a hardcover, and it went on sale on the weekend to 27 Canadian, so I grabbed it, and and I started reading it. I'm about only 20 pages in, but it's pretty cool, and I haven't read like a comic in a really long time, but finding these individually in Canada originally when it came out was really hard.
I mean, just in general, I mean, I was at the tail end of my career at the comic store just by choice, because I had my main job is teaching, and this was more of a side job. And I remember like those last few weeks, Last Ronin was hitting, and it got pushed back, right? And then issue 2 dropped, and then issue 3 came out, and then it got pushed back, and it was such a hype book, and every Turtle fan is just so happy and grateful that Kevin Eastman finally came out with the Last Ronin storyline. I actually had the entire set at one point, the individual issues, but I kind of got off the comic train. I was there for quite a bit and went more towards the figures, which lands me here. But yeah, the first issue is just crazy, especially like the end and all that kind of stuff with how they set up with the brothers and stuff. So
don't spoil.
No, I'm not. I only read issue number 1, to be fair. So you're good.
I was gonna ask, did you finish? But yeah, this was on Amazon Canada, but you can get it on .com as well, because I was curious if it was even on the Canadian one, but it is. So yeah, definitely enjoying it. And then I've been enjoying the Jurassic Park video game, like where it's like Park Builder. It's like Zoo Tycoon, but for dinosaurs. And I saw this at the store when I was at Walmart. I was like, okay, I gotta grab this. So yeah.
All right, Count, tell me what you got here.
All right, cool. Well, the loose figures were part of. There was a table that had a bunch of loose Star Wars stuff, and well, you guys know that I keep a lot of stuff loose, and some stuff I use for my art. I couldn't believe that I got that Clone Wars Sidious, even though it's a little beat up and without the robe and stuff. Like it, I think it was $10, which is unheard of.
Wow.
Like you can't touch it on eBay for less than 70 or 80, even if it is beat up and missing parts. I already had a Ventress, but she's my favorite Star Wars character, so I could always use another Ventress, and I couldn't remember if I had a Barriss or not. And then the Sith Lord there was without his lightsaber, but they had like a spare Ventress lightsaber from the Clone Wars animated series, and they gave it to me for free. I wish I could remember. I wish I knew who was running that table because they were really nice. The guy was there with his wife and daughter, and it was. I only hit 2 tables, and I was so excited to see these particular figures that like my hands were shaking. I felt like I was dreaming. So like that's part of the story from a toy show that I'll tell you about. But like I just got this Dr. Jones Sr. at Target
Nice.
yesterday. I think I had gone there. They had it on the peg, but it was not yet registered in their system. Like the Hasbro representatives had put it out early, so they took it out of my hands when it was, I don't know, $11.99, and when I went back and picked it up yesterday, it was $15. But I'm happy to have them anyway. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, but that's my favorite Indiana Jones movie. I love The Last Crusade. So
Yeah, it's cool to see like the original card
Cool
art
stuff.
finally. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and I mean the Temple of Doom ones were awesome too. It's just awesome to see.
yeah. I wanted that stuff so bad as a kid. I was like, why aren't they doing like I know Raiders wasn't commercially successful as a toy line, but I've got some of that from when I was a kid too. I have the Well of Souls play set with the Ark.
Nice.
And a couple other things too from when I was a kid. I already mentioned my love for Boss Fight Studios. I had met them at a Granite Con in New Hampshire, in Manchester, where I live years ago. I wanted this like elk that Aaron ride and stuff because another independent toy company called, I think it's Dime Store something or Chicken Fried. It's Chicken Fried Toys, but like their Western series is like Dime Novel Heroes or something, I think. They're coming out with I should have sent Chris pictures of this too. They've got prototypes for a set that's like a cowboy Santa Claus and a Krampus. So like Santa can lasso the Krampus, and I want him to ride this elk. So I'd been eyeballing this elk on their website, and it's like $35, I think, and then the tack, the saddle and bridle sets that you see there are like $15 a piece at least. So like I saw this is the same toy show where I picked up the loose Star Wars stuff. I asked how much for the elk, and he said $30, and I was like, oh, that's great. And I start pulling my money. He goes, you got to have the tack too, though. I'm not breaking up the set. And I'm like, well, how much do you want for that? And he was like, it's all $30. So like for $90, I got these 3 boxes and all those Star Wars figures that you saw. Like I went there with $100, $10 at the door, $90 on these toys. I was done in 20 minutes. And like I was so happy, my hands were shaking. I felt like I was dreaming. Like I almost didn't go to the show. Thank God I did.
Do you collect any Four Horsemen stuff?
I haven't yet because I'm mostly into 3 3/4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I really regret though. Like there was a Glyos line for the Power Lords. That stuff that's based on. Now I'm going to forget that artist's name too. I told Chris I'm terrible with names. I might have to email you guys later. But are you familiar with the Power Lords line from the 80s that wasn't commercially successful? That was like sort of like a 6-inch scale.
I think I've heard of it. I don't know. Like I'd have to see it, but I feel like I've heard of it before.
Like I was given one of those figures by a friend, like a 3-legged alien, and it's beautiful, but it's the only one I have. But like years ago, some of the guys involved with Four Horsemen did a Glyos series based on those designs. So and now like the rest of the stuff I'm interested in, you can't touch them on eBay. They're ridiculously expensive. And now Nacelle has the license for it, so they're doing something different. We'll never see that 3 3/4 Glyos line again, unfortunately. But
yeah, these reminded me of the Alithia wave from the Four Horsemen. They have a character named Moose, and it's this huge moose. He's right here. And
awesome.
His antlers are like the size of my hands. It's awesome. Like it's huge and stuff. They're actually starting to droop now. I was kind of picking up figures. I let my boys in here to play video games on the PlayStation 5 and stuff. And I was just kind of looking around, and I had a figure fall here and a figure fall here. They're jumping and stuff. And then I look at Moose, and like his antlers are kind of hanging down. I'm like, no.
You got him in direct sunlight or something?
No, there's no windows in here. There's no windows in here. This is a media room. There's no windows.
All right.
Yeah,
And then
that's
what about
engineering. That's engineering, man. They didn't test it long enough, you know.
They have to
It's
be
not
for at
archival
least
quality.
a year.
Yeah. These 3 Time Bandits figures are from an amazing company that I think has only been releasing stuff for 2 or 3 years. They're called Plastic Meatball. They're sort of like, I don't mean to talk shit on Super 7 because I love a lot of Super 7 stuff, but these guys like hand sculpt every figure the way that like the Kenner vintage line was sculpted. And not the Time Bandits line, but almost every other line they do features card art that's like an original painting. So I really love this company, and I want to get more stuff from them. So I picked up these. These are the only 3. I think there's a variant of the evil character that has a vinyl cape that was a convention exclusive at some point. But like other than that variant, these are the only 3 from the Time Bandits line. And you know the way this stuff goes, probably going to be the only 3 that ever come out. But they've also done like cereal mascots, and they're doing it. They've got 3 out for the Labyrinth. It's Hoggle, David Bowie, and Jennifer Connelly. I can't remember the character names off the top of my head. But
Sarah, come on, guys.
Sarah, right? I know. And oh god, my wife's gonna kill me if she watches it. I can't remember David Bowie's name in the movie. So.
Jareth.
Yes, that's right. When I went to the Jim Henson Museum, they had like a display of all letters and fan art saying goodbye to Jareth at the Puppetry Museum down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Quick sidebar on the Labyrinth thing. The original puppet for Hoggle was lost in a suitcase for like 15 years, and when people finally found it, it looked like a horror show, like a real body basically inside the suitcase because out in the sun for ages. You want to scare yourself? Google the original Hoggle puppet. But anyways, please continue.
Foam latex does not hold up well over time. So here's a set that I got at Target on clearance. I hate the paint job on the inside of the I don't know what you call them, ears or flaps or whatever on the dinosaur, but I do love Dallas Bryce Howard though, so it was like I think it was like $6 to get the 2 of them on clearance, so I was excited to get them.
Yeah.
Do you collect any of the Hammond collection stuff?
You know, I've collected Jurassic stuff over the years because I love the dinosaur sculpts, and I've actually used parts of them in my own work. And like Mattel's doing a great job too. Like I thought that Hasbro stuff was nice enough, but like are you guys paying attention to the new Mattel stuff? Like it's so
it looks so good.
Oh man.
Zach, the network owner for us, he showed the Hammond collection T-Rex.
Yep.
And I've never owned Jurassic Park stuff. I was more like the movie fan, you know?
Yeah.
But once I saw that T-Rex, I was like, damn, that is nice.
Yep. It's the only one I have too. Yeah. It's like it's the only Jurassic Park thing I own. Yeah.
I kind of collect. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, you. I'm sorry.
And then like so I held on to that for a while. I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this. I might just sell it. And then I happened to be at Target and I see the Triceratops. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God damn it. So I had to buy the Triceratops. I mean, it's more legendary. And then got really lucky. I was looking for Dino Fury Power Rangers Zords figures at Ross because they were hitting Ross for really cheap, right? Find what I want. I'm in line at Ross, and I look to my left, and on one of those shelves that they have is like, here's the candy and here's the little knickknacks, and you need a wallet, you need a phone case, right? Sitting there for $7, a Velociraptor. I was like, I have to buy this. Yeah. So I bought the Velociraptor, and then I ended up buying the Colossus dinosaur from the new movie. Haven't watched it yet, so I can't remember, but and it's awesome. It's right here.
Oh, it's like is that the giant?
The giant one.
Yeah.
Dreadnoughtus Colossus or whatever. And then we were on vacation this summer in the woodlands north of Houston, and we went to the Target there because we were like, get some souvenirs for the boys and stuff. And I saw the I can't remember his name now, but he's the hardhead. From Jurassic Park 3 where he runs at the guys and stuff.
Yep.
That's Jurassic Park 2, okay, Sean?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever watched any of the movies except the first one all the way through. I just love the toys. Like they're so beautiful, and I buy a lot of like the medium sized ones, like the
Yeah.
ones that are like bigger than they're bigger than the tiny. Well, I buy a lot of the tiny ones too, but like I love the
Yeah.
ones that are like sort of the mid sized ones.
Well, now at Target they have the Brachiosaurus, and I'm like, that I want it so bad. I want it so bad. That was my favorite dinosaur. Like T-Rex is everyone's favorite dinosaur, right? But that one, I just loved it. Right, brings back memories from like Land Before Time and stuff. Childhood stuff. But they want $90 for it.
Yeah, that is brutal.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, even the Dreadnoughtus, I waited for it to go on clearance, and the box was beat to hell. So I got it on clearance, and like $20-$30 off. I paid like $30, $40 for that figure, and I think it was like 60-70. So
Jeez, it was 120 Canadian here. I'm looking at it.
yeah.
Well, like speaking of Jurassic Park stuff, I forgot. I probably should have sent Chris some pictures of this guy's stuff too. He doesn't. He very rarely sells stuff. Sometimes he'll do vehicles or robots or diorama stuff. But like, have you guys ever seen the Instagram page for Empire Toy Works on Instagram?
I have. It's just like you look up Empire Toy Works on Instagram.
Dude,
it's just like it's
Do yourself a favor.
This guy's so he has a whole room that is like a 3 3/4 diorama of a space station, basically. Like every bit of the walls in the whole place is like layers of a space station. It looks like Blade Runner or something, and it's like cannibalized Star Wars and vehicles and like all kinds of different.
Yeah, like he's got Battlestar Galactica. He's got cyborg dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park line that are being used as equipment, sort of like from the Flintstones, but in the future. Like I love Empire Toy Works. Like you got to check out Empire Toy Works.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're about almost a month off of San Diego Comic-Con, right? And not a ton of news, but there are several things that are being released now since San Diego Comic-Con has passed. And then we have some other smaller events that are going on around with like Four Horsemen and things like that. They got a couple things going on and a con coming up here in I believe November. So we'll cover more of that, and we do have some Four Horsemen stuff. But we're going to start with McFarlane on the news. Starting with the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Red Robin Jokerized 7-inch figure. This is a Target exclusive for $24.99 due out September 23rd. I think I honestly kind of like this Jokerized. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Jokerized stuff in general, but what do you guys think? What do you think, Chris?
I think that as usual, they have sort of just graffitied something they already made, and it's kind of offensive to me. But the head on this one really works with the paint job. I think the wings look crazy, but something about the way the paint job on the head has been done does sort of work with this figure. So I'll give it that.
What do you think, Bad Fish? Sorry, God.
Not good. Yeah, color scheme's interesting, but. Yeah, definitely not for me, obviously, with the Jokerized, but yeah. Those cards are cool.
Yeah, Count, what do you think?
I gotta say, it's an unpopular opinion, I guess, because you guys, have a justifiable hatred for repaints, but this is a really creative one. As a guy that loves sushi and a lot of Asian music, like this does appeal to me quite a bit. Is this 6-inch scale or?
This is actually 7-inch.
Oh, okay, all right,
yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I don't collect DC figures per se, but like if somebody, if I were to get this in a trade or see a deal on it, I would be psyched.
So this is going to come with, of course, the figure and his wings. He's going to have a staff. He's going to have his DC Multiverse card, a stand for the card, which I'm actually really appreciative that they've started putting in these. I guess it started maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and then he's going to have 4 of the Jokerized cards as most good Joker figures come with.
4 different sets of card art.
Well, if you see here, it's the 4 different cards right here: the 3, the Ace, the 8, and the 9, and then it's Jokerized a little bit.
Okay.
I did not mention this, guys. I do kind of want to try to fly through some of this stuff too. So if you have an opinion, give it. If not, no big deal. Moving on, we do have the DC Retro Batman 66 Batman 8 Wave. These are going to be $18 each, due out in October of this year. You're going to have Batman, Robin, Joker, the Jester, Lord Death, Superman, and Batman Robot. I see these guys at Target all the time. A lot of the Batmans and even some of the other better characters, kind of peg warmers for at least my Target. But I really think this Batman Robot looks really cool. What do you guys think?
I don't
good.
remember that. Was that featured on the 66 show?
I think, well, neither was Superman, and that says Batman 66, so maybe they're just getting a little creative with it. But to be honest, I have the best memory of the film and not the episodes. But, you know, this is cool. If the thing is, there's a lot of options for like higher end Batman 66 stuff, which is the only reason like I would like this line never really appealed to me. But you know, that Batmobile McFarlane put out that scaled with these guys was like $20 in Canada, and it looked kind of awesome. So like, if you know, I could understand having the Batmobile and a couple of these guys for sure, but around me, the Batman and Robin figures in these waves do tend to disappear, and then you're stuck with Alfred dressed as Batman, which is the actual figure that came out.
It is an actual figure. You're absolutely right.
The paint on these are pretty cool. That's all I'll say.
What company did the 5-inch line years ago? Because like my nieces got into the 66 show, and I bought them those figures. They're mostly into girly toys like My Little Pony and Strawberry Shortcake and shit, but like they absolutely love the 5-inch like Batman.
Well, these are
toys.
pretty much 5-inch, right? They're smaller than your regular McFarlane DC stuff.
You know what? I don't know. I thought they were actually 6.
I should know myself, but
okay, maybe they're 6. Yeah, they're definitely smaller than the DC series. But yeah, I mean, but you know, like the guys on the main show talk about there's been some third party unlicensed like amazing 6 scale Batman and Robin recently, and I think was it Jazz Inc. that put out the 6 scale Batmobile. Like, man, I mean, if you really love this show, like get yourself like a $3,000 monument to it and then call it a day.
The next thing we have is the DC Batman White Knight Sketch Edition gold label 7-inch figure. This is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. It's going to be $30 due out this year. I actually really like this figure. I think the black and white on it really suits him. It's like a more artistic take on it, I think. He's going to come with his little grappling hook, and then he's got the ropes that go along with it, of course, with the card holder, the stand, and the card.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like it's pretty nice. Like you were saying, I'm loving this sort of card stand thing. It actually sort of reminds me of like the old movie Maniacs that McFarlane used to do, where you get like your horror figure with like the movie poster behind it, and it was like a really nice display for $20. It's pretty cool.
You know, I have to say, if they're coming in with these boxes like this for $30, I don't think I really care. I mean, it's like you got Hasbro doing 6-inch and giving you no accessories or one accessory, maybe a head sculpt, and you're going to get all of this stuff. Now, maybe it's a waste of space, you know, but at least there's attention to detail in the packaging.
Oh yeah, but look how much air is in that box with that plastic.
You slide that
plastic
thing
insert.
up and it'll be a good little box for trinkets and stuff, right?
Yeah, you could fit a whole extra figure in there. Yeah, it's crazy.
I love the paint on this one. Yeah, some of these comic ones, just when they stylize them, so look really good, and this is one of them. So.
And then there's the front of the cover, the gold label, the gold label, the sketch edition, McFarlane's logo. I mean, this looks great. I think, and it has the window. I'm guessing that it looks like a window, right? I mean, I don't think that's just painted on. That's the actual window to the box.
Yeah, there's no plastic. It's just
Yeah, that looks really good. And then the sketch on the back, which they always get on point.
Yeah, it looks good.
So we have a couple of reveals. We got the Batman Dark Knights of Steel Batman teaser. Pre-orders will drop on the 24th of August for this. And then we will also have another reveal for the DC Multiverse Green Lantern DC versus Vampires Walmart exclusive. And then another reveal for the DC Multiverse Black Light Final Crisis Walmart exclusive. And then a new release that we have is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman of Earth 22 Infected Glow in the Dark Edition 7-inch figure. This is going to be $30 due out September 15th of this month. You know, of all the glow in the dark stuff that's been out, maybe with the exception of the Swamp Thing or Man? I always get the mixed up. Thing. I actually like this one a little bit better. I mean, I don't have a good glow in the dark picture of it, but the green on the back of the cape looks really nice.
That's outrageous. That's just outrageous, Sean. Like, clearly the Swamp Thing is better than this. Like, what's going on with all these like Joker, Batman monstrosities? Like, I don't know. Really what's happening in the world if this is what Batman looks like?
I said with the exception.
Okay. Well, the Swamp Thing was amazing. This thing,
I might have to get that Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I've been seeing more stuff about it. I don't have.
Yeah.
I refuse to do Batman. When I first started reading comics and I started working at the comic shop, one of the girls that was at the comic stand with me, she was like, read DC. I was like, fine, I'll do it for the customers. And I started reading Rebirth, and I got into like the first like 20 issues, but I was like, nope, I gotta stick with Marvel. Marvel is my baby. And then going into Super 7, one new release, and of course we have the cat layer coming up. Silverhawks Ultimate Wave 4. These are going to range anywhere from $65 to $85, and this is due out February of next year. We have Quicksilver, Steelheart, Monstar, and he's the $85 version, and then Buzzsaw. You know, I think one thing that Super 7 does really well is making some of these animated figures. Like, maybe not so much the Silverhawk, but these two right here, I think look really, really cool.
I wasn't paying attention when I think they did like a Silverhawks line. Like, it's been going on for a while, or they had an early wave a couple years ago. But I remember the earlier ones sort of looked like they were painted like cell shaded kind of. Mm-hmm. Whereas I can't tell if it's just the photography, but those first two actually look like they're chrome, which is something people really wanted to see the first time around. So
that would be awesome if they were chrome and not just like painted plastic.
Yeah, so I mean that'll be cool, but I remember people being a little bit off put by the like sort of cell shaded paint job on the first wave that they did.
Chris, did you ever share pictures of your Mudhorn ship on here?
I think So I think that predates me getting on small talk.
I got you.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah,
I guess the chroming process is kind of environmentally insensitive. It's hard to get real toy manufacturers to do it. It's kind of expensive. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love it whenever people do it. But
then again, Hasbro did just put out a retro collection wave that had the original R2 and 3PO in it that are somehow vac metalized. I wonder if they're using a new process or what, but that's currently available.
Cool.
The cool thing about this wave is if you pre-order the entire wave from Super 7, you will get this 4-pack of extra head sculpts. I really think this is a kind of a cool idea. It really gives an incentive, even if you're paying a little bit more than you'd want to get just another accessory. And I think one thing that Super 7 does really well is handing out those accessories. Although the price tag is a little much for me, but I think it's a good gesture, here's one other thing if you buy the whole wave. And then the update on the Thundercats layer, $650. The pre-orders close on September 17th, and it's due out in October of next year. The early funding was successful, I should say, for the key. It needed 3,000 backers. It is currently at 3,226 as of about 7:30 today. And then tier 1 for 4,000 backers was the Sword of Omen, 1 claw shield, and 1 lab set. Tier 2 for 5,000 backers is the exclusive Thundercats Ultimate Astral Projection Lion-O figure. I mean, my first take on this was, if you don't get the figures, it's a waste. But now, I don't know, guys. Like, to have a play set this big outside of the 90s, when they were really big into the play sets.
It's bigger than anything that ever came out in the 90s, but yeah. This is, like I said, you're whoever, and anyone ever comes over to your house, they're going to think you're a member of a cult that prays to this thing. Like, it's not, it's like, you can't really imagine the scale without, like, you got to look at some pictures of it from the con and see people standing in front of it. Like, it's just nuts. But I don't know, did you say how much more time it still has? Because 3,000, like, that would put it, like, in terms of, like, the smallest production run of anything like this.
So the backers close in exactly 1 month. It's the 17th of September. So there's
what
time.
Do you guys think of, like, what do you think of this as a design for a fortress, like, as compared to, like, Castle Grayskull? Or, like, I remember seeing this, you guys are all younger than me, I'm sure, but, like, I remember seeing this, like, in the Sears catalog and thinking how bizarre it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's this is a little more faithful to the show, but it's still, like, it's still technically under scale, amazingly. But I don't know. It's like, I wasn't big on the show, but, like, this thing just looks evil to me, and, like, I kind of like that it exists, and, like, it seems like one of those things where, like, if you can afford it, it's just like, it's sort of a footnote in, like, toy collecting insanity, kind of like, it's flying too close to the sun, and, like, stuff like this will not be done eventually. Like, it shouldn't be being done now. It's crazy.
It is sick that they're attempting it. That is true.
Yeah, Steve from Casual Nerd Problems went to San Diego, and he said this thing is huge. You're going to need a lot of space for this thing. So you better be a hardcore Thundercats fan if you're doing this. There's the key. I don't know. I have a thing for keys. I think this looks really cool. So,
key to the city, what you should get if you buy this. Yeah.
And then there is the first tier with the gauntlet, the claw gauntlet, and the lab set, and then the astral projection Lion-O. And then there it is at the con. So, I mean, geez, guys. I mean, these are what, 7-inch scale, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, you can't
small.
Your brain can't even, like, you can't even understand that that's a 7-inch figure when you look at this. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
It is incredible. Yeah, just the fact they're making it is, it's coming now, so it's been backed, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it'll for sure be out there. So if get on it now before you have to pay more money for it, right?
I look forward to gawking at it in some lunatic's basement in the future.
Yeah, probably Zach's.
Do you know any Thundercats guys, Chris?
None.
Heyo. All right, we are gonna jump all the way to Star Wars Vintage Collection, and we're gonna start with the Vintage Collection 3 3/4 Ahsoka from the Ahsoka TV show, $16.99, due out December.
It's the identical figure that came out on the Mandalorian card, if anyone's wondering.
Exactly the same. And then we also have the Vintage Collection Sabine Wren 3 3/4 figure. This was going to be $27.99.
Yeah. They goofed it on that helmet, man. That's big, oversized helmet. They should have just done a full head swap because it looks crazy.
Okay, so here's
$10 more for the extra little creature.
box.
Well, it's
Well,
$16.99 for Ahsoka, and then $27.99 for this and the little creature that she comes with.
yeah, so this is
Crazy.
what I wanted to kind of bring up, at least for a Star Wars topic here. You know, these things are $17, and then you get these big deluxe ones like the Sabine, who come in the box, and they have maybe the extra figure, things like that. But $27 or $28, and then tax for a 3 3/4 scale figure. Like, I don't know. Count. Can you attest to this in any way? Like, I'm spending $30 on a figure that's 6-inch scale. Like, these guys right here. To get
The last time I was at Target, like I think it started with like the Dark Trooper, right? It was a boxed thing that had alternate hands and all this other jazz. And I had imagined that it would be. I didn't know that they were just going to continue doing this throughout the line. But as a collector of Star Wars stuff, like, it's really upsetting to, like, what did you say, $28 or $32? It's crazy for a 3 3/4 figure. Like, they eliminate the plastic from the packaging. You have this cardboard box where you're not sure if somebody returned it, and put a handful of snotty Kleenex or something in there instead for weight, and it costs you $30 at least. I'm not that happy with Hasbro. Like, my wife bought me the Dark Trooper. I was tempted to get the heavy Mandalorian there that's in a box like that, but it's too expensive. It's just too much for a figure that small. And I know that there's alternate hands and other accessories and stuff, but like, they've basically more than doubled the price of a carded blistered figure.
Chris, what do you think about this?
It hasn't been that long that they've been doing this. Like, I don't know if you can, like, I don't know if you guys remember this figure, if you can soul cam me for a sec, but this was like a couple bucks more than the regular figures, I think, and you got more than Sabine comes with there. Like, and Din has an alternate head in here too for no helmet, which is why his helmet's the correct size, unlike the Sabine. But he's got the Cam Tono and Baby Yoda and some Beskar bricks. Like, and this, I'm not 100% sure it was even more than the regular figures in that wave. Like, it probably was like $3 or $4 more, but
exactly,
that's value, like that.
Right.
That was not that long ago. So this is just a little bit weird. And like, the cat doesn't do anything for me, like Loath Cat's one of those just Disney era things that I would like to kill with fire, so I don't really mind it.
Do you prefer it to like the Build-A-Weapon crap from the Force Awakens line?
Well, I think they should. I don't know what they were doing in the Force Awakens. Oh, you mean like those? They would have like like armor up
pieces
guns,
of extra
vests.
junk plastic.
Yeah,
like stuff that like I use it as fodder as an artist, but like,
yeah,
for your average collector to have something that never appeared in the movie, wouldn't you
to
rather
be
have
honest,
it?
I wouldn't mind if I feel like that Hasbro's really missing something, not having that like cheaper line, like when they were doing 5 POAs, like when they finished it up with, I think Solo was the last one to have that, but like, you used to get so much more vehicles, and like now you get like one new vintage collection vehicle a year, and then a couple reissues maybe. Like, there was some, like, the vehicles weren't great, but like some of the smaller ones would like they did some good fighters that were like $20, and now it's like you may have your Ghost in 2 years if you pay $500.
Yeah.
I would say when I was seeing all that stuff, it was all pretty much useless to me. Obviously, for kids, they might play with it, but as a collector, it's like, I'd much rather something like this, but not for the price jump that they're giving you. It's like, why is this $10 more for one little figure? But this is cooler than, again, a little backpack that's nothing for me.
For sure, but like there is just something weird going on. They just think they can get away with it because, like, you guys probably saw, the most recent like retail vehicle that was new was the speeder bike. There was like a Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary 3 3/4 speeder bike, and like in Canada that was $70, and like it's it's something that like the 1983 version $5.99, the 2010 version $7.99. The 2023 version, $70. Interesting. You know, it changed less in 35 years than it has in the last 10. It's not that's not the rate of inflation. So you know, they just think they can get away with it. And I guess what their model is find the extreme collectors who will pay more and produce less and charge more for it. And I
I was
guess
gonna
that's
say,
where
like,
we're at.
how many completists are there even left in the world? You know, that they could take advantage of. Like,
I think they
The
all have
prices are
podcasts.
pushing a lot of them out, though. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of the people who I knew who were completionists for like getting every TVC or anything, they can't anymore because there's just the price and there's too many, and they're still pushing out a good chunk of these. So,
You know,
but
though,
I agree with you. Vehicle wise, it's not the same.
I think y'all bring up a good point too, because it's like, are they upping the price because not only kids are buying it, but adult collectors who are looking for a good product are buying it? So if they're going to collect it and we're just going to sell it for a premium.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to go back that far. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the solo line, but who's there's like a bounty hunter in the solo line who's like turns out to be like a 13-year-old girl by the end of the movie, but she has like this awesome like speeder bike, and like there's a 3 3/4 version of that speeder bike that I don't know what it retail for in the States, but in Canada it was like $9.99, and it's pretty nice. And like, you know, that's only 2017, I think. So like, I don't know how you jump up to $70 for something that's like basically the same size,
Are
a
you
little bit
talking
better.
about
remember the train
the?
playset for that? Like, that was the most
Yeah.
disappointing thing I thought
Well,
for the solo.
the cardboard train playset. Well,
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
it
I
was-
know, like, I know the cardboard background is a tradition in Star Wars toys, like going back to the cantina and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
It was a
I
little
didn't
weird.
care for it. I was like, I would have to like build more onto this thing to make it worth buying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as a 3D vehicle the size of a speeder bike, it was
Oh, yeah,
$10
yeah,
5 years ago, and now
Mhm.
it's 70.
Yeah,
Cool.
insane. Yeah,
Pretty sure the 6-inch version of that bike was $70 or $80.
Yeah, now the 3
I'm trying to
3/4
remember the
one is
character.
70.
I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not a very memorable film, Badfish. That's why you can't remember the name of the character. But anyways, let's talk about the
I like
ghost.
Solo. Sorry, but yeah, let's go.
All right, so we have an update on the HasLab Ghost. So we got some new paint on it, right, Badfish?
Yeah, so almost all of these pictures should be the new actual prototype photos that are actually painted versus the renders we showed last time. So you'll notice these are actually quite a bit different with the way it's actually come out, but it looks good with the weathering and whatnot, the carbon scoring and all that's
Nice.
all come out where they've set it, where they showed in the renders, and the engines and whatnot. You can see the greebling and greebles or whatnot look good. So, and this is what
So
we've seen so far.
If you have not been watching the show lately, shame on you, but we are going to go over the specs for the HasLab Ghost. It's $500. Last day to do this is September 6th. So guys, y'all need to kind of hurry up if you're on the fence on this. And really, I don't really know how many people would be on the fence. Like, it's either you're going to get this or you're not, I feel like, at this point. And crowdfunding ends in about 20 days. They needed 8,000 backers. They're currently at 10,532 as of a little bit earlier today. You're going to, of course, get the Ghost vehicle, the Star Wars Vintage Collection 3 3/4 General Hera figure with 3
These
accessories.
are updated pics of the figures too. They were all like kind of rendered before. These are actual figures now.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
See, this I need Marvel now to come out with a what was the Guardian ship called? The Milano. I need a Milano that's like this.
It'd be cool. Honestly, as well, a lot of these look better than the renders. The detail on the cockpit and in the crew area where they all hang out and there's the hollow board and stuff. It looks even better than the renders did.
So we're just shy of the first tier at 11,000. That's going to get you Ezra, 14,000 for Kanan, and 17,000 for Zeb. I mean, with way less than a month to go, I mean, it'll be disappointing. I agree with Chris. I think he mentioned it last time, is that we'll get these eventually, but how close is eventually, especially with this coming out in a couple
I mean, like,
years.
how do you guys think that like the 5 POA versions would look in the ship? I think it would look fine myself. I'm not particular.
Well,
Like the Rebels line.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing, right? Like a lot of people, because when that line came out, it was basically like, we're canceling vintage collection for a while. Here's some figures that we made way cheaper that the knees don't bend. I think a lot of collectors got turned off by those early Rebel figures, and I think that I don't know if they've sort of recovered from that yet, really, but like Sean was saying, like, you know, if they're showing prototypes this far along, you're getting all these figures. You're just not going to get them on the mural card backs that they're showing here. They'll have a different picture, and you'll get them one at a time. If the ship comes out, they're going to make all these because the prototypes are already done. So don't worry about it. To be honest, I kind of hope that they don't sell like 30,000 of these, because then I'll see them at toy shows for sale for the rest of my life. I would like there to be like 12,000 of them, and that way, like, the people who buy them will actually like get some value if they buy two, and they'll be able to get their ghost for free for suckers who slept on it and didn't buy it. It makes it more special. It makes it more legendary. They don't need to sell 30,000 of these things. If if it's right for you, and get it if it's right for you. But it's special. It's cool. It's not as cool as the TVC Falcon. So if you don't have a TVC Falcon, you really have no business buying this as a Star Wars fan. Get your priorities in order.
I got to ask you real quick, Chris, like, which Inquisitors do you prefer? The original 5 POA Rebels ones, or the ones from Solo?
You mean Obi-Wan, the most horrible?
Oh yeah, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
you know which my favorite Inquisitor is, that one that's got like a devil bird mask and Tales of the Jedi that Ahsoka kills 5 minutes after he's introduced. That's my favorite Inquisitor.
And he's never been a figure, right?
No, and I think he was in the novel, and then that 30 seconds of media, and that's it. Great,
Okay.
Great
All
Inquisitor.
All right.
Yeah, I'm seeing the detail on these thrusters, and damn, that's nice. But go ahead, Badfish.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I see a little bit of weathering on other parts of the ship, but I feel like the engines are so detailed, and they're so painted well in like that gunmetalish color, and then I just kind of see like plain grayish white plastic.
Yeah.
Like, how accurate is that to the show? Is it not?
I see some wash there, but I see what you're saying.
That's a better view right there. You see the wash on this panel right here.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd have to double check, but I think it would be pretty accurate. I was saying is, I think if you go back, I'm not sure if we'll see it where they're in the cockpit. That's a good close up of that. But here in the cockpit, you can see as well, they've done like the panels on the left, just above Kanan's head. You can see like they've actually put some of this looks really good. The actual consoles, I should have included those photos.
That's that's a good point. Like, if you go back, like the TVC Falcon was sculpted in like 2007 or something, and like a lot of the detail in the cockpit is still decals and stuff at that point. And like, this is from a technical standpoint a major step up.
The card art on that Hera was pretty terrible, though. Isn't it funny that the figures get more articulated and detailed and the card art gets crappy?
Well, okay, so this is where your fan ignorance is showing, Count, because this is based on a mural that takes place that is
but why would you make that choice, though? Why would you make that choice?
Because
I kind of like it.
They made that choice because the mural's in the new Ahsoka show. It's going to be in the first episode in a couple days, and B, they're going to re-release the figures with better card art anyway.
Eventually, I don't know. That just does nothing for me. I guess I featured on the show or not. It's why even bother doing it? Like, I don't know. That's just me.
The whole thing of
it's a preference, I guess.
Yeah, but like the whole idea of realistic looking figures, but like the cartoon card art, it's just so confusing to me. Like the new they showed I think at SDCC they teased Thrawn, which was technically the first vintage collection Rebels figure they ever showed, and like that broke a long standing tradition with vintage collection where they would usually do like a real life interpretation on the card art. Like there's a Clone Wars Anakin and Obi-Wan that have like Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor like photoshopped into a Clone Wars scene, whereas this Thrawn is just like a picture of cartoon Thrawn from Rebels. So they're sort of breaking down some of the long-standing traditions of TVC. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
I almost wish to do a last 17 crappy painting version. You know.
Well, I mean, you're finally getting a retro collection Yak face. So in the
sure,
yeah. So that's going to be, you're going to see loose Yak faces bobbing around for all time now, and you're going to have to check to see if it's $500 or $599.
Moving on, we're heading into the Marvel Legends. We got the Marvel Legends Disney Plus Kingpin wave coming out. It does say plus Kingpin. He's not the Build-A-Figure. We'll reveal the Build-A-Figure here in a second, but it's going to be these are going to be $24.99 each, which is a little bit better than what they've been doing. I have some gripes with the characters, but this is going to be due out in October of this year. You're going to get Kingpin, Nick Fury, Yelena, Goliath, Gamora, Talos, Agatha, and then the Build-A-Figure, which is the What If Hydra Stomper, the upgraded version. The original version was the green. So this is definitely getting more high-tech. I guess you would guess after the war.
That head, though. Come on.
He's not meant to actually have his real arms in the arms, right? So he just sort of huddles together on the inside of the chest, right? That's how it works.
It's like a Hulkbuster. But yeah, okay. I think the head's like crazy small.
So like is he tucked into the torso of the thing then, and the arms are just robotic?
It's like this. Joysticks.
He's got two joysticks in there.
So it's like a mech suit then. It's like a Voltron.
Yeah, except I think he's standing. So.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
I really want to like this Agatha, but I think it's like a big miss. I don't know. But I think I really want this Hydra Stomper. I have to buy this Gamora. Ever since I saw the What If, and there was a tease several months ago about it, this is the figure from What If that I need. So I will for sure be buying this. And then I'm a little underwhelmed on the rest of it. I do kind of like the Kingpin. I feel like in the Daredevil series, they made him out to be this monstrous kind of guy. You know how he's big in the comics, but then when he was in the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, he definitely got that more slimmed look, and he looked more just like street level businessman kind of guy. And then I think the Nick Fury looks really good, especially with all the accessories. But I think the Yelena is just a little bit off. There's something about it that I just don't like. I can't tell if it's like the hair or just kind of like the makeup they kind of put on her with like the lips and stuff. But what do you guys think about this wave?
I abstain.
I figured.
I agree.
You watch the Marvel movies, Chris?
No.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
No, I'm in the same boat. Like it's a limited handful that I pay attention to. Yeah.
But that Gamora does look pretty cool. That's my
she does. She's nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. You're right.
But yeah, I agree. The Kingpin though, I absolutely agree. It's not. It just doesn't. It's
there's not an intimidation factor. Yeah, it's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's just a regular guy. He's
the jewel
slightly overweight and bald. Not that
the
much
jewel
different
on
than
the
me.
thing is cool, but that's it.
Yeah. His head sculpt kind of just reminds me of like in Daredevil where he stares at the painting. You know, like he's just kind of like dead faced. No real like murderous emotion that he typically has. But yeah,
remember the retro one, the big one they released a while ago? That thing was.
I had the Build-A-Figure and I sold it a long while back, but I kind of want that retro one. Something about that orange. Is it orange, right? The orange suit on the inside? The
Yeah, I'm
vest?
looking at it. Yeah, orange and then blue little thing. Ascot or whatever.
I don't
Hey,
remember the. Go ahead.
get that head for your Black Series Krennic figures that look like roadkill compared to this.
It's a good skull.
For okay. For real though, I was just gonna say that. I was like, this guy's head sculpt looks amazing.
Well, the Krennic Black Series predates the face printing tech. Yeah, their Badfish has it full screen. He looks crazy. Yep.
I had it focused
What
there.
are you
a second
talking about?
ago.
That looks
Hold on.
just like him.
Yeah, yeah.
See if we
So
can just get
you
it
know
focused.
that would be an awesome head swap, and
Damn.
it probably fits.
He focused like 2 seconds ago, of course, when I
Yeah,
was
but
small.
you know it's predates face printing. Basically, is the point.
Get in there, Krennic. Anyways,
You're probably not getting him again either.
I love this figure though. I love the outfit on him. They did a good job on that. But
Yeah.
Moving on with the last thing we have for Marvel Legends is the Marvel Legends Shield Agent and Hydra Trooper 2-pack. Pre-orders are exclusively at Hasbro Pulse and the Shop Disney store starting August 17th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Is this an army building concept? Like, they're supposed to be generic soldiers? Or?
I don't think so because, well, these are definitely more comic version. This is one thing that they do specify. But I don't know. I think it's a miss. I mean, I think if you're going to do from now on, unless it's like a significant character, if you're going to do a Hydra Soldier comic version or a soldier, I feel like it just needs to be the builds, the army builders. You don't need this big elaborate box or anything like that with probably missing pieces and all that. Give me a small square box, wrap it up in some paper like they did for the $15 versions of these, and call it a day.
I don't know. I like it on the Hydra Trooper. The stitching like on the middle of the chest looks kind of 3D. I don't know. I like the texture of like this part of the suit where the looks like the zipper is supposed to be. That looks kind of good. It doesn't look like it's just a generic part like the rest of this could be. So that's sort of nice. I don't know who's army building like 6-inch figures though. Like I don't know. But
right. But like, do you want I mean, like, clearly you're not like a big Marvel collector anyway, but like, do you have any desire for the unmasked head as a fan of figures, period?
Well, I guess you could bring down the cost if you just went with the helmets on these since look, if you got like 10, they're going to start looking repetitive, right? Even if you have a couple different heads. So, yeah.
Yep.
And then the one thing that should be mentioned is that in this 2-pack, you did get quite a bit. I mean, you got 3 head sculpts, not including the helmeted versions as you see on the figures, and then the guns as well. So I mean, you do get quite a bit for it, but I don't know. Moving on to 4 Horsemen, they have extended their Cosmic Legions line, starting with the Cosmic Legions Ox Crew Book 1. Thraxon. This pre-order sale will go on until Friday, August 11th. And let me tell you guys, as someone who has missed out on... I'm sorry, I misspoke. The pre-orders went on sale August 11th at 10:30 Eastern Time. But as someone who's missed out on several of the Cosmic Legions now, if you like these, go get them because they will disappear real fast. And then it's closing on September 17th at 11 p.m. Eastern and due out late 2024. So I believe the first wave is already out. Most people are getting it, but there's still I think it's 2 waves behind, not including this one. So I just kind of want to see more. You're going to get Kroon Ray, he's $42. You're going to get the Lowlander Scapeback for $42. And this one comes with a lot of cool stuff. So actually, I'm sorry, this is the first one. This is the skate back right here. I really like this figure a lot. I think it's really cool that we're gonna get like an alien animal version of something. I really dig the purple, the eyes, all of it. So at the very least, I will be getting this guy. And then he comes with a couple of claws. The next guy is called Orvar. He's $48. He has this big old backpack on the back of him right there.
Reminds me of like the Halo grunt.
Yeah,
Like the Mass Effect. The suit kind of looks like the
Mass
dinosaur
Effect.
guys in Mass Effect. Yeah,
That
it's
too,
pretty
yeah.
crazy.
And then we have Thraxon Scout for $37. I really like these two head sculpts. I think they look really cool. Definitely very villainous.
Look at the glaze on those teeth, man. Like this is too good.
It's really, really nice.
And
Like,
the
wow.
price, like, don't get me wrong, they're $40 to $50 depending, but man,
Detail is sick though, and like
they're really
the soft
good.
goods on that first one. Oof.
Well, you compare this
Amazing.
to what you're paying for a little bit more than what you're paying for, say, like a Hasbro 6-inch. These are awesome.
Yep.
You're right, man. Yeah.
The next one is Eulenier Spear.
He looks a bit like he's got the wrong legs off a regular humanoid his figure, but
This
Actually,
could be in Star Wars too. Like, look at this
I
thing.
I apologize, guys. It's Yukaha. This is Yukaha. He's $37. But yeah, he
$37
looks like he
bucks.
jumped out those pages of Star Wars for sure.
Yeah.
well, it's because it looks like it's based on the physical limitations of having a man in a costume with like a giant additional piece on top of his head, because the legs look like regular dude legs, and then you got this big thing on top. But that's pretty cool.
Ooh, that's nice too. Jesus.
And then this
This is
is
like
the
StarCraft, yeah.
Eulera Spear. And then I'll come back to these. And this guy is Velik Spear.
Yeah, even those like little circular things on the suit remind me so much of StarCraft.
And then they're gonna have a campsite communications and cargo collection for $25.
It's literally just like best of space video games figures. like
These
I don't know.
are
it's-
awesome, man.
I kind of like generic ass, like not generic. That's the wrong word, but like sort of like unknown science fiction figures. You know, like
Yes.
that you could mix in with another line. Like these are really beautiful.
I think it's what really drew me to the Four Horsemen stuff in general was I feel like I have what I need. Like the dioramas that I want, the collections that I want. I feel like I have what I need. What really drew me to Four Horsemen is that it's almost outside the superhero stuff. I mean, even if you consider Star Wars, like superhero villains, super villains, things like that, like these guys are just cool. It's cool to have the horses. It's cool to have the mythical creatures outside of a superhero style figure.
Yeah, these are so creative, like, and they're so well done, as we've all said so far. But wow, just so cool.
Like speaking to the comments there, like I'm surprised. Like, do you not prefer that the plastic be the base color for, especially the head and face? Like, it's something I try to do in my own work is to have like the resin itself be like the base color for the face, so you don't lose detail while painting it. I don't know who that. I'm sorry, I missed whose comment that was, but like,
Mark Pearson here saying, I believe
It's
you're
like-
talking about the dyed plastic mold here at the end. On
yeah,
his-
like painted details and washes and stuff are awesome, but like I think that in general, like if you can get like a nice opaque plastic for the base color, you're in a better.
I think a lot of these have that. It's just the overall paint job is just generally done better.
Yeah, they're
afterwards here,
beautiful.
yeah.
Like
Like
I'm,
this guy's got to be a base green, right?
yeah,
I
I would think, yeah.
But I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
The
man.
first guy is the best is my favorite with all the cloaks and like
The soft goods man were so
yeah,
good. Like,
it's so
oh,
sweet, man.
dude.
He reminds me of like one of the probe droids. Like they took his head and they put it on
Right.
on another droid.
It's definitely inspired by that for
Yeah.
sure.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Oh,
They usually have a. They don't have a bonus. I don't think they usually have one for if you get the whole wave, or is that you get a discount if you order the whole wave? I don't remember.
I think it's you get a discount.
Okay.
1-6 shooters in the house today too, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what I said the Thraxon was, but she is $37.
That does not sound expensive for any of these. That's crazy, man.
okay, Mark, I get you.
Yeah, these are great prices too, considering. Yeah, this company is one of my favorites. If I wasn't already into like so many other 12 scale stuff before, when I saw these, I would probably, whether it be their fantasy ones or these space ones.
Wow. $299 is really good. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
though, I think 1-6 shooter, if you remember, what was that first wave? I think it was close to like, I think it was $499, $500. I don't think it reached 6, but they were pretty up there.
Yeah, I think that was one of the lines I saw. And it's like I wanted them all. It's like kind of, oh, I want the discount, but I can't really justify spending that money, especially U.S. converting to Canadian. It's like, damn, that's like $400 or $500. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I'm tempted to cherry pick that first guy, though. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And 4 Horsemen, they're gonna have a con here in the next few months. So hopefully these guys will be there. And this is just cool too, just to have this little command center. Couple more things, guys. We're gonna kind of try to fly through it because we are at 2 hours. So Threezero announced their DLX Iron Man Mark V emergency suit armor. This is from the Iron Man 2 movie, and it's coming soon. And then an update. By popular demand, Threezero and Marvel Studios are thrilled to announce that they have reopened the pre-orders for the highly sought after DLX Black Panther. So that is available as well. This announcement was maybe a couple days ago, so I would definitely go check Threezero as quick as possible if you missed out on this guy. But for the Iron Man, I'm excited for this. I still need to go get my Mark 46. That's my favorite armor that I don't own. But this guy this bought me into Iron Man so much. Just like that whole scene on the racetrack, and then the box and stuff. So, or the briefcase. I really hope the briefcase is included. But yeah, this figure looks awesome. What do you guys think?
Hey man, you know how I'm not a big Marvel guy, but the texture on that looks like a bigger, more expensive thing. I mean, well, I don't know what the price point is on it, but like the edges are like real refined and sharp on that, and it looks like metal. So that's pretty awesome.
If I had to guess, I think it's gonna be around $100, maybe
Yeah.
110.
That's
do
crazy.
These have metal? I thought they did. I don't remember.
I think they are die-cast, aren't they?
I think they are. Yeah. The Threezero makes some awesome stuff. So I think if you're buying into, and they're usually not crazy price, but yeah, there's no price right now. I don't think.
Yeah, what scale is that Iron Man?
I believe it's just under 6-inch scale.
Wow, like I mean, I don't. It's hard to imagine.
Or just
like,
above it. They're slightly bigger than SHF.
yeah, but like if you just even look at like the how small some of like the 3D like lines like on the lower part of the chest are, like it's hard to imagine how they're even doing that at that scale, that sharp. Like I don't know if that's a render or what, but that looks awesome.
And again, there's the Black Panther, and we do have NECA coming back. I'm excited for NECA to come back. Kind of took them out of jail, at least for now, and we'll see how it goes. And I don't know. Maybe
we'll see. We may have to put them back in after this. We'll see after the news today. But...
Oh man, some of this stuff. I'm not a huge Turtles fan. Spoiler, sorry, but some of the stuff is looking really cool.
I'm a huge Turtles fan, so I actually was excited about this news. So NECA announced a couple days ago, earlier this week, that they were going to, which sometimes is annoying with NECA. They'll pop these on you 5 days before, and they want the money up front for all these pre-orders. So there's been mock-ups of the sewer layer at some cons and stuff, and it's 3 brick walls, couch, table, a rug, and various openings with pipes, and went on pre-order today, August 17th, and that is the biggest controversy right now. The price is $300 US, and for what you're getting, I don't think that should be the price point.
Yeah, you could build your own diorama much cheaper than that for that.
I was quite literally saying that to one of the Patreonies, Ekwan here.
Yeah.
It's way
There's
too
nothing.
crazy.
There's nothing outside of like basic skills there.
Yeah, and you could build this for maybe $50 to $100 on your own, and it
Right.
would be something fun to do.
Yeah.
But the cooler one that a lot of people that I missed out on that I was happy to see was this small accessory, which comes with way more. When I'll actually maybe next week include some of the pictures with what it all comes with, but it's only $50, and that's back up for pre-order now. So if you go on NECA's store, you can grab that, and I think that one's worth it. And the accessories it comes with are pretty cool. They usually do a good job with their accessories. And their prices are usually a bit more on point. That's why I was surprised that the layer was so much, because I mean, you see that $50 with all the stuff it comes with. And then one other thing was the NECA announced, shared some info about a New York Comic-Con exclusive that's coming. The Scream 6 Ghostface Takes Manhattan. So it's coming with 6 different masks, alt hands, a Statue of Liberty prop, which is I think my favorite, a play kill prop, 2 knives, and more. But and featuring some glow in the dark action, but no price at the moment. But if you're a horror fan, there's some. I think it's a pretty cool looking exclusive.
Yeah, I'm sure Manny will really enjoy this. Man, that's so cool.
So.
You know, big fan of the NECA Universal Monsters, the black and white versions, and the gargoyles. So excited to see what's coming next with these guys. So back out of jail, and Mark says right back in.
Right to jail.
All right. So Count, we have a little activity we like to do right at the end of the show called Grade the Figure. Basically what we're going to do is give it an A, B, C, D, or F answer. Pluses and minuses do apply. So you're going to see a few figures that we had talked about today. Because we are at 2 hours, guys, I would like to run through this as quickly as possible. So if you have a hot take or not so hot take, let's make it a little brief, okay? So the first one we have is the Robin. I'm going to go ahead and give this a C. I think the color is cool. It's more Jokerized stuff. I feel it's getting overplayed, just kind of like the Venomized stuff was. But Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to give this an F, because if I never see another Jokerized thing the rest of my life, I'll be fine, even though this isn't the worst offender of the lot.
Go ahead, Badfish.
I'm gonna match with a C as well, because I do like the color scheme as well. But yeah, just not for me. But
what do you think, Count?
For the reasons I said earlier, I'm not really a DC guy in general, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a B+. It appeals to me. I'm sorry, guys.
You don't have to apologize here.
No apologize.
Right.
Grade what you want, man.
Yeah.
The next one is the Kingpin. I'm also going to give this a C. Not enough for a Kingpin for me. I mean, you get 2 fists and the staff, or what would you call it, the walking stick. I think that's probably the best part of it, like you said, Badfish, with the diamond on top. But comic versions, I wouldn't mind paying more for the comic versions just as they are if I'm going to get this much.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a C. It just looks like a mixed match of parts that weren't designed for this figure to me.
Yeah, the pants are coming from somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll agree with the C as well. It's just not not terrible, not great, just middle of the road.
Yeah, like the leg, like I'm giving this like a D minus, and I feel like I'm being generous because like it doesn't even look like his thighs rub together when he walks. He's supposed to be a fat guy. And as far as the diamond on the staff, like you cast it in clear plastic and you paint the rest of it. It's not that hard. So I really, this is not what I think of. Like I was a Marvel Comics fan when I was younger, and this is not at all what I think of as the Kingpin. This is like the Kingpin with cancer or on some sort of advanced diet.
Shit.
I love
There you go.
love the behind the scenes details on the painting as well.
Now that I think about it, like thinking back to the Daredevil TV show, like he definitely looked more broad to me,
Yeah.
and he definitely looked more.
There's like an intimidation factor with this
Right.
character that's just not here with this figure.
But in Hawkeye, he looked more like a boxer. He
Wait
slowed
a
down a
minute.
little bit. He was when he was fighting and stuff. Like I don't know.
Are you trying to say that the Disney show is worse?
The Disney show was worse?
Yeah, it wasn't Disney back then. Anyways,
No,
I'm
I
just
know
saying.
that.
They screwed it up obviously because that's their MO, but that's fine.
Yeah, he was amazing in Daredevil.
So I'm gonna give this Gamora an A+. I absolutely love it. I am very biased on this one. I'm a huge Thanos fan. To get the armor, the correct sword the first time, I mean, it took forever for them to push out the correct sword with all the versions of Thanos that they did, at least from Endgame. I can see where I can grade it lower, but I've been anticipating this figure for a long time, so it's an A+ for me personally.
Yeah, I'll give it a B+ just because if it had a better paint job, it wouldn't look out of place with those Cosmic Legions, which I do like. But I don't recognize the source material here.
It definitely has like it doesn't look like it was painted gold, right? It looks like it's just like melted plastic gold.
Yeah.
This is probably what Mark's talking about, but I do like the sculpt, and I like the way the hair looks. Just very cartoony from the show, but I would say B+ as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a B, I guess. I do, it looks pretty decent, and just the details on the bonus arm for the Build-A-Figure are pretty sweet. So,
And then moving on, I need to reference the name really quick. The Lowlander Skateback. I think this is a definite A+ as well. I really like the way this thing looks. It just screams space animal. Like when I first saw this, looking at it, it was like thinking about like No Man's Sky, just those little creatures that were running around on the planet and stuff. Like I'm really excited for this figure. Probably one of 2 or 3 that I'll buy from this wave.
Yeah, I'll give it a B+ just because like I love sort of trying to figure out what they're specifically referencing, and like this guy looks a bit like they're like the dogs from the Predators movie, or like maybe like there's like a Corellian Hound and it's Solo movie. It looks a little bit like that too, and but as far as I'm concerned, this is, I mean, it's definitely like it's great, but it's not the standout of the like that wave is just insane. And like, yeah, this guy's kind of the odd one out in that wave to me, but it's still pretty cool.
This is trying to figure out what's going on in the back now with between the 2 legs, but this is an A+ for me too. Just creativity, the paint. You don't see anything like this. That's why, and it's done well.
like for me, like it's a well sculpted figure, but like the purple's very flat to me. I wish it was metallic or maybe glazed better or something. So I'm gonna give it like a B-, C+, somewhere in there.
And then we have the DLX Iron Man Mark V. One of my favorite suits of all time. I need to see more. Of course, this was just a reveal, so the basic grade that I'll give it is to be determined, but I'm going to start off with a solid A.
I mean, I think Iron Man has, there's if you have enough figures of some specific character, it's Iron Man already on the market. But the sculpt it looks crispy, man. Those details look sharp. If this is like it's amazing to me that you can do something with that sort of metallic texture with that fine detail that's smaller than 1/6. So I'll give it a solid C plus.
I'd go A minus. I love this armor as well, so a little bias. And it looks really good. It said this is the prototype and not final, so this is, I believe, the actual figure. Sorry, not a render. But yeah, I think it looks great so far, and Threezero does good stuff. So I think they'll drive it home.
I really love it. I'd give it an A or an A plus. There's all kinds of unnecessary detail. Uh, just personal bias. I love the Iron Man movies more than most of the Marvel movies. I think this thing it almost looks like a drawing. I don't know. I love it. A or A plus.
All right, guys. Before we jump into the ending segment of the show, I just want to thank everyone for being here. We're 2 hours and 14 minutes in, 12 people live watching, so we're good there. We did not do our giveaway or our bonus giveaway code, so I have one ready for us. If you want that bonus entry for that amazing Hot Toys Carnage, your small talk bonus code is Count T. Count Tatus, thank you for being on here. We really appreciate you. And Chris, what an epic come through with this kind of a slow news week and stuff. So we appreciate both you guys for one coming in and then two just making it all happen. So
Thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, man. I know some outlandish characters. But it was great. It was great catching up, and looking forward to seeing what you're turning out down the road, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Pretty soon.
If you want that amazing Hot Toys Carnage, make sure you type in that bonus code. Also, Badfish, if you have a chance, could you get that link for me really quick? Collector's Own Cantina, make sure you go like their page. Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, like our page, and then of course subscribe to Collecting Weekly. Ben Thomas Show for a bonus entry, and 1/6 Fix for another bonus entry as well. And again, OFAC has Carnage themselves coming out. The SH Figure Arts Carnage from the Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage. I don't believe they have any of the details ready just yet. We'll keep you guys posted.
I think it might be like you have to be watching live to participate. I heard somebody say that, but I don't know if that's confirmed yet.
Awesome. And then they're on their way to 100 as we are. I believe they will hit it the week prior to when we hit it. So we're all kind of pretty even, but we will hit it second for sure. And then we want to thank all of our Patreons, starting with Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valens, Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Giss, Daminator, Joel Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Gun Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krent, Big Fern, Caesar Madokin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DiGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, Illustrious Rayner, Alad Morgan, Takathri, Wah, Derek B, Eris Portillo, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clavenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Domaton, who was in the chat today. Thanks. I want to say that's one of the first times I've seen you in here, man. So we appreciate you dropping in. Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Stephen Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Luis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. And guys, if you want, this is our July and August Patreon benefits. You're going to get your ZW sticker, which most of you should have, and then the small talk sticker, the new small talk sticker coming out this week. We just revealed it last show, and lots of hard work put into that from all members, so I really appreciate you all for that. And then if you want to become a member, you can start with the hot seat. You can join the Empire with digital benefits, Ox After Dark, Patreon chat, and weekly shoutouts. And then for the Sweet Angel tier, it's $7.50. You get all the swag from a previously said, and then stickers sent straight to your door, as long as Ox After Dark replays, and then stickers will be sent every other month. Certified Crispy is $15 on first pledge. You'll get the Certified Crispy certificate. Assistance with figure fixes by Zach. Please message him beforehand. And then all the benefits of the previous tiers. International postage for the certificate will be charged at cost, and stickers will be sent every other month. And then our last one, our best Patreon benefit, the What a Guy. So this is going to get you the Pog Deluxe set on first pledge, doubles of all the stickers, benefits of the previous tiers. International postage will be, international postage above $5 will be charged at cost for the Pogs. Stickers will be sent every other month. And then we have our YouTube members. We have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andreas IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Henson, Big Ol' Fern, Blur Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Garbear, Gotham Cinnabites, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Cards, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Money Mendez, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Knight, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Full, S Beam, Sam Giss, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunny Vale, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. And if you want to become a YouTube member, this is what you got. You got your Patreonies for 99 cents, and you get all the loyalty badges, and then the Peanut Gallery for $2.99. And then this is a list of all of our shows. Of course, we have the Collecting Weekly and live unboxing on Mondays, our main flagship show, Collecting Weekly on Tuesdays, After Dark on Wednesdays. There's been some really, really good After Dark stuff, so you don't want to miss out on that. Go ahead and become one of our members or our Patreonies. And then we have Small Talk on Thursdays, which we rotate with OFAC. So you will get OFAC next week, and you'll get us back in a couple of weeks. And then we have Just Another Friday Nights, who are taking up the reins on Fridays. Go check them out. They've been killing it. And thank you to those guys who have jumped into the chat today. And Badfish, you got a shout out from them too when you showed the Ronin book. So it's cool to see the transition there of what they're talking about. Other shows we have Question of the Week on Sundays, Live and Let Dice, Bricks and Brews, and Ox PD. Badfish, did y'all do Ox PD the other day, or what happened?
Ox PD was last week, I want to say. Things are a blur with me lately with the life going, all the stuff going on. And then we have Live and Let Dice this Saturday as well. That should be, I believe we're checking in that's going on as well. Awesome. Again, guys, we appreciate all of our chat members coming in and hanging out with us today. Count, thank you so much for being here. Chris, thank you so much for getting him here. Badfish, thank you for helping out on the show sheet today and getting some other stuff done that needed to get done before time. It's been a crazy week for me. We get the kids on Monday, and it's just been trainings, and while it's nice because the kids aren't there, it definitely gets a little draining at times. But guys, any shout outs before we sign off?
Yeah, from me, just one thing. go ahead and go follow the count on Instagram, Acquired Taste
It's very
Industries.
kind of you. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
you know, like he'll have some new figures out eventually, but he posts some good memes now and then as well. So like, you know, there's good stuff to be had over there, and then you'll be aware when he has a new drop.
Count, you want to go ahead and give us a little talk about what you got going on and where we can find you, the handles and all that good stuff?
Yep. Acquired Taste Industries is on Facebook, but I don't post there as often as Instagram. So Acquired Taste Industries on Instagram is primarily where I'm active. And I'm also participating in a Instagram art show called Scraps 5. So if you hashtag Scraps 5 or any of the previous shows, I think the first one was called Scraps Art Show, and then the other ones were, sequential with the number afterwards. The idea is we take pieces of resin scraps that we have laying around from what we do and toy fodder and assemble the best thing that we can. It's a one-off sculpture that we sell at the end of the show, and a lot of the prominent artists are involved, and it's always interesting to see what they come up with. So I would say Scraps 5, hashtag Scraps 5.
And while you're here, anything on the low got coming soon that we can hint, wink, wink on?
There is one thing that I'm afraid that's going to offend some of the people that have been following me for a long time, but it's going to be a benefit for a good cause. So I hope that I can win them back that way. So we'll see how it pans out for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, when it happens, let us know. We'll put you on the show sheet and we'll get it out there for sure.
Well,
it was
bless
so
you.
much
Thank
fun
you.
having you, and you're welcome back anytime.
So kind. Thank you.
Badfish, you got anything?
No, it was great having the Count on, Count
Thanks.
Taste This, and yeah, your creativity is awesome, and just seeing, I sort of consider myself creative in some ways, but when I see what other people are doing, it's like wow, and that you're on that list of, and your work's really really well done. So,
Thank you.
yeah, other than Live and Let Dice, check out D&D. There's we're in the new campaign. We are doing some water fun right now, and of course, yeah, any of the Ox PD. I think we'll be probably trying to get another one in probably next week, because we had to take a bit of a break with Dean being off for a bit. So yeah, that's about it. And check out all the other shows on the network.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the Patreonies. Thank you to all the YouTube members. Go check out Just Another Friday Nights tomorrow. They're killing it, and we will see you guys next time.